Hello, it's me, Seth, Mistaken Potatoes, welcoming you to episode 23 of Non-Standard Action. A stranger, a friend. We've been doing this, it occurred to me recently, for 6 months?
Yeah. Pronk,
Yeah.
yeah.
23 episodes is exactly half of a year. So at
That's-
one a week.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've had a couple breaks, but
Yeah.
it's
6
just-
months.
it's crazy to me, man. Crazy. With me, as always, is, whoa, who are you?
I
it's-
don't know.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know how I
Well-
got in there.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
What are you doing behind the curtains?
Pay no attention to that one.
How did
Security.
you get in here?
He's the weird alien who's come to mess up your alien. Still Gur, just a different kind of Gur. Different. Let's
Not
see.
one of your best.
New bottle, same great taste.
There it is.
Hey, there you go.
She's pale and she's small, but with her best friend, she knows it all. It is Mouse and Serendipity.
Hello. Yes. WTF? WTP? What the
Yeah,
prompt?
so- there you go. We got there. He's let's see. Oh no, he's big. See, I had to think about it. I was like, wait, we went from small to big. It's like I've never done this before. He's big. He's a lizard. He's part entropic wizard, or he was, anyway.
Much to his
Ninda,
chagrin. Hello.
the Rhyphorian mystic, who's got the quick fix, Kaylin,
Good morning.
and then the goopy starfish weirdo.
That didn't rhyme.
Yeah, I know. I give up sometimes. It's okay to give up, you know.
Parod turns into a rhyme.
Or like a
Wait,
rind.
How?
What if he turned into a rind? Like a pork
A
pork rind? Or
medium-sized,
maybe-
a medium-sized rhyme.
No.
What about a lime?
Well, you could be a lime rind. You could be the rind of a lime.
Come on, guys.
Alright.
There's no time.
All right. Let's move on.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Well played, Mac.
I was mostly
Although
looking
really-
for a rhyme.
Yeah.
That's like the most vanilla rhyme, right? Like I hear rhyme. I think rhyme and time get rhymed together. Like I want to say 90% of the time when one of those words is used.
Listen, man. I'm an elementary school music teacher. I have heard way more rhymes than rhyme and time.
Okay, I mean I imagine so.
Actually.
Oh,
Weird
God.
flex, but okay.
Hey, are you playing mouse today? Is that what's going on? Is that-
Yeah,
is that-
we saw Gur swap bodies last episode, so we all felt left out.
Oh, that
So-
would be
We've
so
all swapped
weird.
bodies.
Yeah, everyone swapped bodies, trying to figure out who's playing who.
Yeah, no, can't do one thing for one player. Got to do it for everyone. Hey, why did he get to swap bodies?
Why did he
he
get to die and go to the afterlife? It's the Freaky Friday episode of Non-Standard Action, everybody. Welcome.
Woo!
I want to die and go to the afterlife.
I call playing Herald.
I was gonna say Mouse and Ninja. That would be a hell of a switcheroo.
Oh, that would be wild.
I can't even imagine. Like, can you imagine the unstoppable intellect of Mouse inside of Ninden's body? Like,
I just imagine her like,
no.
falling all over the place. Just
and then
how do you drive
Ninden-
this thing?
Yeah, and then Ninden being in Mouse's body, just
Oh.
kind of there.
Well, this is this is fine, I guess.
Time to go get that jar of my favorite cookies. Wait, I can't reach it anymore.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, Mouse Ninden like starts climbing up the wall and in the background.
Just tongue flicking out, like going 100% lizard mode. All right. Well, I don't really have
Mouse.
anything to address necessarily at the beginning of the episode. So unless somebody else has something to go off on, I think we could just like play Starfinder if you want.
Yes. Let's wait
Yes.
until Finder. Yeah.
Acceptable.
I mean, I don't know. I've only been waiting for this for like weeks.
Hey man, like I said, try to put yourself in my shoes. The person who like came up with this whole thing like months in
Yeah.
advance.
No, I know.
I was like, oh man, I want to do a cool thing. I don't know how anybody's gonna take it. I'm just gonna have to wait for literally months to find out. All right.
Well,
Uh,
you all came back, so clearly
And
they
that-
didn't hate it, Seth.
Apparently not. So that's okay. Now, Jesus. Okay, are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Ready.
I think so.
Indubitably.
Okie dough. As we left off, the sun divers, most of them, were standing in a narrow but tall room with what is most likely sunlight spilling in through the ceiling. The walls and ceilings are decorated in brass and amber colors. The floor is a marbled white. In the center of the room lies the body of their friend and comrade Gur, who, after a bizarre accident, Ezorod, wound up having what remained of his vitality drained. Ninden's brother Tendon led a group of priests and other such practitioners in a ritual to try and resurrect Gur through prayer, through chanting, casting restorative spells. When we last saw the crew, a focused ray of light had just touched the half-orc's body and caused it to glow.
All right, come on. Ready when you are.
Come on, Schwartz. The chanting continues. The priests at Gur's side that you suspect are casting the actual spells required to finalize the ritual, focusing their energies through the carefully charged and aligned crystals. You notice subtly at first that Tendon's eyes seem to focus less on the light and less on Gur, and more between the other two priests. This subtle loss of focus turns into an observable expression of consternation. You hear the chant falter from some of the gathered robed figures, some of them looking up from their reverently bowed posture. The high priest to Gur's left, an elven woman with short gray hair, lifts her head with a troubled expression. Her brow is furrowed. Her mouth slowly ceases from its mystic recital. She shakes her head a couple times before her eyes open. First pure white, before the shroud swirls and reveals her pupils and iris once more. She looks at Tendon, signaling something to him.
Zed's motive to read the secret message. But he died.
Well, clearly something's wrong. You're not really sure
Okay.
exactly what it is she's
Yeah,
saying,
okay.
but Tendon appears to suck in a sharp breath. His hands grip the lectern before him, before he speaks, loud enough to be heard over the chorus of voices in the room. Brothers, sisters, that is enough. The robed figures slowly lift their heads, the room falling uncomfortably silent. The strange mystical light dissipates, and then the natural glow from the sun, reflecting off the maze of surfaces above, return the room to the state it was in before. Sister Etheriano, what happened? He is not there. He was, but he has taken some other path. He has not returned to his body, she explains, clearly still recovering from the effort of attempting to call Gur back from the other side.
Has this happened before?
Tendon is still gripping the lectern. He turns his head just enough to cast a gaze over at the sun divers, his glance specifically lingering on Herald for a moment before he finally gets enough strength to try to meet Ninden's glance. And to Herald's question, he goes, "It has. Not often, but sometimes it does happen."
Why does it happen? Why? She said that he took another path. Does that mean he's He's gone? Do we know where he went?
It will take much more time to commune to find out what happened. I don't know. It could be he just decided not to come back. And you can tell he feels like this is news that he doesn't want to deliver, but to the rest, this is not like shocking information for other people here, people who didn't know Gur. There are some who would probably be of the opinion that, like, of course he wants to go. Of course he wants to go to the light, move on to the greater path. It's not news to them, but Tendon knows that this is something that is not going to go over well.
Mouse just looks utterly outraged. That pronking fleamhead! He's left us holding the bag! And she storms out.
Well,
Ninden watches her go and turns to Tendon. Brother, I thank you for trying. This was... I know you tried your best. And thank you. He turns to the other high priests as well. I guess let me know if you hear anything else.
They solemnly bow their heads, and they both look at Tendon for a moment, and he gives them a small hand wave, and they start gathering the materials that had been laid out around Gur and placing them back into some sort of... I'm sure they have a fancy box or something that they put these things in. They put the crystals back in the fancy box. That's what they're doing.
Uh-huh. Very ritualistic.
Mm-hmm.
If he decided not to come back, I can't say I would blame him. But that doesn't sound like Gur, right? Like, what if he's being held back?
Well, it doesn't seem very likely. It sounds like Tendon has done this before, and this is usually the cause of this sort of thing. We don't really know what the afterlife looks like. Maybe he's... We just have to trust that Gur knows what's best for us and best for him.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
After the progress on de-preparing the altar has gone sufficiently, Tendon will come over to join the other Sundivers to address you. He says, I understand that you're going to be going on a mission again pretty soon.
Yes, I'm afraid we don't have too much time to wait for, well, whatever investigations you would normally do.
I understand. What we can do for you is we can keep Gur's body in a state of repose while you're gone, and assuming there's still an archipelago when you return, we will happily conduct whatever rituals you would like to go through, be it resurrection, be it burial, he says, almost under his breath.
Of course. Thank you again, Tendon. And the rest of the church.
He nods, but he leans over and gives a side hug to Ninden before he excuses himself.
Ninden accepts it, sort of looking vacantly off into space.
All right, let's head back to the DCI. Harald will gently guide Ninden in the correct direction.
Yeah, he's receptive. He's just sort of, and he can definitely move on his own. You realize, but he's just lost in thought.
Just giving him one of those nudges.
Of course, yeah. Like, hey, buddy, we're going this way now. Okay.
So, as the Sundivers make their way back to the DCI, we're going to go ahead and switch scene to a different place, a strange place, a makeshift hospital room. Hey, Gur.
Huh?
So, when we left off, you had awoken in a strange hospital bed situation. Currently, standing before you is a bizarre creature, tall and thin. Let me pull up this image so people can see.
Oh, yes. This guy.
Oh yeah, let me change that over.
Decorated in armor and wearing a long arm, some grenades, a sidearm, and some kind of melee weapon, he somehow still projects a cautiously welcoming aura. He introduces himself. Finally, he says, "I am Captain Zephyr." He says, though you notice that the strange vertical mouth-like openings on his face aren't opening. You also notice that along with these words come some emotions, such as optimism. There's a little anxiety. You have occupied the body of one of our people. Under normal circumstances, we would have time to help you understand and cope with this phenomenon, but I'm afraid we are short on that luxury.
Sure. And he tries real hard to talk, like through the mouth thing, the not mouth.
Your mouth does not behave anywhere near what you have ever known a mouth to do in the past, and it feels like you might have two. It feels like you might have two mouths, and
Yeah.
You start to kind of like look at this Zephyr's facial arrangement, and you start to realize that maybe that's what your face looks like kind of now.
Yeah, he kind of slowly moves his hand to his mouth, and his mouth isn't where his mouth normally is. And yeah, he doesn't know how to process that.
You also notice that you seem to have three eyes almost. Like it's weird. Like as you think about it, you're not like just talking like gross human talk. We don't notice that we have two eyes. I guess we don't think about it too often. So like I'm trying to think about like what the 3-eye experience is like.
Well,
I don't know. I don't know if you could see 4-point perspective more easily, or.
No, I'm sure Gur is. He blinks and he blinks, and then he kind of notices all of a sudden that when he blinks, there's the little closing from the top and bottom, but there's also in the middle of his version a little bit of closing in the middle, like to the
that's true.
sides.
Yeah, that's true. It's like you feel the weird weightiness of 3 eyes blinking instead of 2. And that third one blinks a little differently than the other ones do.
Exactly.
So while you're trying to suss this out, Zephyr goes on to explain. Our city is currently under siege, and we have no means of escape. What remains of our military forces have gathered, functioning more as a militia, carrying out strikes to try to weaken the occupying force. So far, efforts have not been met with the success that we have hoped for.
And with that, Gur kind of like forgets the strangeness of his body, and he kind of like gives a concerned look.
Zephyr actually looks over to the alien beside him before returning his gaze to you. The other alien being the one that you recognize, the one that saw you waking up, the one that called you Venator. And Zephyr goes on to explain, the body you currently occupy is one of our best soldiers, Venator. On a recent mission, he accomplished his primary objective, but unfortunately was spotted by the enemy on his return. He suffered a traumatic injury that left him in a coma. And a sharp intake of breath, kind of like a sob, is heard from the other alien.
Oh no.
Sometimes in this state, due to our uniquely attuned minds, other souls find themselves occupying our kind when they are so inhibited. And he gestures at you.
And Gur kind of just like looks down at his 3-fingered hand, I think,
Yes.
and he just
Pink
kind
flesh.
of like
like whitish, pinkish flesh. Also,
definitely not green.
no, super not green.
Definitely not green.
There's a definite lack of green in the lineup now. Well, I mean, like there's still Ninden, but it's not as green.
but it's still very unnatural.
It sets off the balance. Sets off the balance.
You should definitely share that picture of Harald at some point.
I'll try to find a way to do that.
Oh jeez. No, so he kind of like, yeah, after looking at his, like, examining his situation, he kind of gives a nod and kind of makes the effort to speak through his mouth one more time before kind of just giving up.
Yeah, and even though you tried to speak and you can't, it's almost like he received a message anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he holds up a hand and he says, "I understand. It's frustrating, and you don't need to use your mouths to speak. We rarely do. In fact, that's not the preferred way. It's much easier to speak with thought."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you find it's actually surprisingly easy, and it's probably due to their unique biology. Like they're just kind of predisposed to telepathy. It's just something that this species does, and now so can Gur.
Oh, this is really cool.
Zephyr chuckles. So you see his like it's a physical chuckle.
Yeah.
Because the humor of someone finding that cool helps diffuse the awkwardness of the situation for him a little bit.
Oh, that's low-key what Gur was trying to do. He's so uncomfortable right now.
The figure to your right is watching this interaction. Her gaze is focused mostly on you. You can't ignore the feeling that she cares deeply for you, or at least who you used to be. This confusingly collides with physical memories that occupy the brain that you're in, which give you glimmers of the same feelings. Something that you understand on some deep level is that this Venator individual cared for her deeply.
And when he realizes that, Gur kind of gets more uncomfortable, and he doesn't really address it because he doesn't really know how to at this point, I don't think.
Right.
So he just kind of turns to the other guy and said, "So what's this about? A siege? Who's attacking you? Why are they attacking you?
He holds up.
Even is this place?"
He holds up a hand again and he says, "In good time. First things first. The term we have for people who possess one of our kind in such a way is stranger. But there's a very real possibility that if you do not aid us in removing the occupying army, which I will gladly tell you about, you may just lose your second chance at life. So, rather than referring to you as a stranger, I'd like to know who you are." And he extends his hand to shake. Apparently this is a ritual that they also have. Shut up. I totally thought about that.
Good stuff.
Well, I suppose I don't really have another choice. So he goes and he kind of hesitantly shakes his hand. But just so you're aware, I can't condone the killing of innocents. That's just not acceptable. I must know who it is you're fighting before I agree to any hostile actions.
He looks at first. You can feel you can feel that he's insulted. Just for a moment, for just a moment, but you still feel it, and it immediately changes over to a sense of understanding and respect, and the small shock to his posture gives way, and he returns back to his kind of he has kind of like a heroic stature. You can tell he's definitely a leader, maybe the leader in this area of the city. And he explains, of course, you don't know our kind, you don't know our ways. Harming innocents is the last thing we would do. No. In fact, we have been attempting to contact the Burning Archipelago for decades now, to no avail, in order to warn them of a threat, and unfortunately it gained the attention of those that we sought to warn the archipelago about, and unfortunately the Ifriti army of the Malika have come to take our city, and so far their efforts have been brutishly effective.
Ifriti army
Mhm.
of Malika?
He nods.
Give me a gun.
Yeah. So he raises a brown and goes, "Oh, so you've used a weapon before?" And before Gur can respond to that, I think that's a good time to cut away from that scene.
Yeah, good choice,
Well, actually,
Have you
Oh
used
my
a gun
God.
before? Gur?
buddy. It all began episode 1.
Sometimes known as the gunning.
I had a giant spanner in my hands.
That's true, he did. And a hand gun. Hand cannon.
Yeah.
A
Think
span
pipe
cannon.
rifle.
Did you say? I heard hype rifle.
I said pipe
Right.
rifle.
No, I heard
Okay.
hype rifles. And I'm just thinking about like maybe like a dubstep gun, like just a
It's like that one
gun.
from Saints Row. Saints Row 4 had a
Sure.
dubstep cannon.
Yeah.
or like
you,
Lucio.
you aim it at someone and it just goes, make some noise. Anyway.
And they are helpless, but to make some noise.
It is
Oh,
required.
dear.
Make a will save. High DC.
See, that'll
Uh,
be a pretty fun weapon, actually.
Anyway,
Any-
speaking of
anyway.
fun, the Sundivers, just learning that their friend didn't come back to life, are now preparing themselves to go on another mission.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, how's everyone processing this? Because last episode, obviously there was some shock and some sadness, but there was a little bit of hope that their friend would possibly return, and now it looks like that's not going to happen.
Mouse is taking this as a personal affront and like channeling all of the pain and sadness that she wasn't dealing with into anger at him for not coming back. So like if you walk past her quarters as she's like packing up and getting ready, you'll hear her like, "Pronkin Fleamhead leaving us to pick up his bear," and like banging, and you know, it just she's very irritable. It's just not a good time.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know, it's going to be like maybe a couple days before the mission actually begins, so everyone has time to obtain equipment from the additional funds that the DCI has allotted for them, and everyone's just kind of given some time to prepare in their own ways.
Ninden is well, when they get back from the burning the Radiant Cathedral. Sorry.
That's the one.
Yes.
There's look. Adjective for hot. One of the many nouns involving a place of worship. I get it. It's weird.
They've got
It's
it
like,
covered, really. They must have.
Which combination?
They plumbed the depths of the
They really
thesaurus for the
They really
descriptions of these places. But so once we get back from the fiery church,
Yeah, fire church.
Ninden goes to his quarters, and first thing he does is actually, he probably sheds a tear or two, and then he would probably pray to Pharasma, which he doesn't do very often. As I've said, he doesn't really necessarily worship or follow Pharasma, but he's very familiar with her teachings and stuff from research he did earlier in his life. So he would.
If anyone would get Gur where he's intended to go, it would be Pharasma.
Exactly, and that's the effect of his, or the idea of his prayer is he would say, Pharasma, please watch over my friend Gur. See that wherever he's going, he gets there safely. And I don't know if you have the capacity, the desire, the inclination to pass along messages, but if you feel like it, tell him that Ninden says sorry.
Oh.
And after that, Ninden would probably once again take stock of Gur's things, this time tucking some into, like putting the star knife that Gur owned on his sheath, putting the hand cannon on his hip, probably talking to Harold about the grenades and whatnot, because Harold can use grenades. It won't go badly at all.
No, of course not.
What's
Harold's
this
like-
one do?
Harold's like, we should put these all in a safe place. And then he looks at him again. And he goes, I should take them.
And then after that, Ninden would go out and buy a few more things, but I suppose we can describe that as we're
Sure.
cool guy walking onto the ship to our mission.
Sure.
And Kaylin will go with Ninden to go shopping. She's got to
Yeah,
pick up a couple
cool.
things too.
And
Mouse orders things on Space Amazon.
yeah, Spamazon.
Amazon.
Exactly.
And Harold, the insane amounts of bureaucracy and the flurry of activity from all these different corporations and government figures and stuff that Nib was describing when you first returned. Harold is now, as the perceived leader of the Sundivers, is exposed fully to this maelstrom.
Buried in paperwork.
So Harold can involve the rest of the team as much as he wants to, or he can take the burden of going through all these briefings on his own and giving them the Cliff Notes versions, however he wants to approach
Harold's
it.
a big fan of suffering in silence for his crew.
Oh.
Well, he probably knows at this point that Kaylin's not doing any paperwork. She refuses.
Mhm.
It's not
at
all
one-
paperwork. It's going into a lot of meetings, appeasing a lot of
Uh-huh.
politicians.
Yeah. It's crazy. This is all
Yeah,
the stuff
don't
that
send
happens.
Kaylin. She's terrible at it and she hates it.
This is all the stuff that happens off camera, it's not like you're gonna be just. It's not okay for someone to take a spaceship to go make first contact with an alien race deep inside the sun. Like that's not just like you don't just do that. Like there's protocol. But you do obtain a video that is passed along through the DCI to you, Harold, to disseminate amongst the rest of your crew from the actual Pact Council seated at Absalom Station. It was a video sent over the infosphere and if you watch it, which I'm sure he would.
Yeah. Gather the crew
yeah.
together, try to convince Mouse to be quiet for the 10 minutes that the video will take.
Good luck.
But the video has it shows the current standing directorate gathered. I believe it's like 5 head directors, and there's also the director general of the stewards there. One of the directors says, "Now this is in address to the sun divers." He says, looking up from a tablet. It's as though he's never read the phrase before.
Ooh, that's us. That's us.
And he goes, "We've only recently been made aware of your exploits, but it seems like we have a lot to thank you for." The steward speaks
Wrong,
up.
right? You do.
The steward says, "We're doing what we can to shore up the defenses at the archipelago, thanks to the warning you enabled us to receive. Without that, we would have been caught completely off guard." And the director nods and says, "I understand you're going on a rescue mission to take care of the people who warned us about the Ifrit. You're a brave lot. Just make sure to come back in one piece so we can hang some medals around your necks." There's an exchange of polite nods and smiles before they all turn their attention to the camera. And he says, "Give them hell, sun divers," before the video ends.
Wow.
All right.
Right?
Mm.
This is a bit more prominence than I expected to ever have, I'll be honest.
No pressure.
Kaelin, Harold, remember when we first got together and you all were trying to shove off all the responsibility for all the good things we were doing on anybody else, and now look where we are.
Well, the good news is we're too big to assassinate.
Yeah! High
At least
five!
probably.
Herald
High
spawns many hands for high fives.
I was gonna say.
Too many.
If there's a
hands.
hand, Herald will high five it, and he can provide. There's no such thing as too many hands to high five for Herald.
Actually, I've tested this. I cannot form more than around 105 hands. Just not enough mass.
I like
Just
to think
become a-
that Mouse like pestered him until they did this so they could figure this out. Just because, one day during a long trip they were bored.
Just a big ball of hands. Yep, I remember that experiment.
I regret it to this day.
Another video that you receive is actually from the Starfinders themselves. I think that's the first time we've mentioned the Starfinders on this Starfinder stream, which is it's crazy how this whole AP has not involved the Starfinders at all.
Lol.
I mean, neither did Aeon Throne
That's true.
or Signal of Screams.
That's true. Starfinder is just it's a set piece.
Yeah.
But no, you receive a video from the Starfinders. It's a training video from one of the Wayfinders on making first contact with new species. It comes in the form of poorly produced videos by a Sharon named Giri Eek.
Ha!
Gary!
He tries his
With-
best.
With an irritating orange coat, trying to tell you how to make first contact with a species and be good friends with everyone.
All right, does it cover whether it's a good idea to turn into the new species to make them feel more at home?
It doesn't.
Interesting. All right.
I'm sure Herald pores over all of these videos. There's too many videos. Like, it's like Starfinder. It's like the Starfinder sent this without curating it at all. They just kind of dropped it on your desk, and it's too much information, and you're not sure how much of it is usable. Like
The entirety of the syllabus.
maybe 8% is good information, and the rest of it's just wild conjecture. Like, it's just, yeah.
Mouse watches them and also provides loud commentary on it that's not very flattering. Just like, oh yeah, you would say that.
She's mad. She's very mad. She's going through all the stages of grief.
She's just mad at the world right now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is she at all receptive if Harald tries to talk to her about all this, or does she just kick him out of her room?
I mean, like, he can stay, but he'll realize quickly that, you know, she's not really listening, she's just venting.
All right.
This radioactive fuel rod is glowing hot. You can't. Nothing that you can currently do to handle it, I guess.
Apply time.
Time, you know, it works. Though, amidst the myriad of things that are happening around the DCI during these times, at some point, a gift is left with the facility, and after they make sure it's safe, they let the Sundivers know that they've received a present from someone who just goes by Mama, and there's no address.
Oh.
Ooh.
This gift comes in the form of a Gelid ice carbine.
Ooh,
Nice.
Gelid Ice Carbine. Looking
it
it up. Heh.
It's level 9.
Heavy
Does,
weapon, long arm.
It's a long
I think
arm,
it's a head. Oh.
Okay.
and it's
Ooh, gimme, gimme, gimme.
it does
Oh.
3d8 piercing and cold damage.
And has the automatic property. Slap a selective fusion on that, and you're good to go.
There's a small note saying that she had Vezak cook that one up.
Wow.
And it also says, also included in that note is, this is our home too.
That's really
We'll
nice.
send a thank you note.
To where?
Oh no.
Just tape it to a lamppost somewhere, and
Geraldo.
it'll find its way.
Herald runs outside of the front of the Museum of Endosolar Sciences and goes, "Thank you."
Thanks.
He just like cups
Oh.
this.
Dust his hands off.
Thanks, well done. Let's see. I have a couple other things. Michaela texts Kaylin at a point. It's a very simple message. It doesn't bother to see you in person. It says, "I know you're busy, but I thought I'd reach out. It's almost a relief now that the messages have stopped, but new anxiety now, I guess." Referring to the psychic messages that were coming in from within the sun.
Yeah. She'll shoot him a text back. That says, "Don't worry, we've got this under control." Smiley face.
You see the typing thing, and you get the message back. "Oh, I know you'll take care of it. I knew you were connected to this whole thing somehow. Just, the race is coming up in a couple weeks. I just want to make sure I see you on track."
Wouldn't miss it. Still got to kick your ass.
He posts a sticker, like an art commission sticker, of it's like him like waving behind his back as if he's walking away from you, like whatever.
It's the
Oh,
bye
man.
emoji.
Pretty
Sends
much.
it back a hair flip.
Like an animated Kaylin hair flip emoji. Oh, I love
Yep.
it.
Because we have animated Bitmojis. This is the future.
Of course, yeah.
And she's got a lot of hair, so that's like a long animation too.
Yeah, it's like an 18-second hair flip.
Yeah. In slow motion.
It's the hair flip to end all hair flips.
Majestic.
Ugh, I wish I had Kaylin's hair. I love her hair so much.
I wish I had Kaylin's hair.
I think we all wish we had
Right.
Kaylin's hair, okay?
I kind of like having short hair.
I scorn hair in all its forms.
But yeah, I mean that's all I've really got for y'all. If you want to go ahead and make your way to the ship.
Yeah. We'll
Slow
give one of
motion
the-
hero walk.
Indeed.
As the archipelago explodes behind. Oh wait, no.
Oh wait,
No, that's what was stopping. Damn it,
Yeah, you
Gerd.
understand that with the technicians and scientists at the DCI, as well as the added assistance from the stewards and Pack Council, etc. The Sundiver has been refitted again. The armor, not just designed to keep out the effects of the sun, but gunfire and that sort of thing. It's been battle hardened. The guns are upgraded. The targeting and everything has been brought up to par, so Ninden wouldn't be hindered in a situation where he'll need to shoot the said guns.
Fire the missiles.
Mhm.
Wait, we don't have missiles. Simon
Wrong
doesn't believe in
missile!
missiles.
No.
But yeah, as you do your hero walk onto the vessel, I understand that I think almost every character has undergone some degree of change, and on top of reaching level 9. So what does everybody got? What do you got for us?
Who's going first?
Oh, so
You want to
many
go
things.
first, Tom? You
Yeah,
seem the
who-
most excited about it.
I suppose I should probably do that. Tom, you go first. Ninden.
Hey, thanks. I love character building. So as was relatively implied last week, Ninden is foregoing the use of his offensive entropic powers from now on. His entropic strike being chief among them, and so he actually took a level of soldier this level, guard soldier specifically. And the reason he went guard soldier and not basic blitz is because he picked up some power armor. So as you're seeing the crew turn the corner, you see Ninden, and he's walking out, and Back in Black is playing as he's in this. No, not really. He's wearing he got a battle harness, and so he has a battle harness, and it's walking around the corner. He's got an advanced cathode cannon strapped to the harness, which is a heavy weapon. And in one hand he has his shield that Gur made for him. In the other hand he has Gur's sintered star knife. So he's ready to go. He's sort of
People are watching Ninden slow walk onto a spaceship with a knife out. I think some of the scientists are just like,
Stab this ship.
they're like, what? What is?
he's
Big
he's,
armor,
he's
need
falling.
big sword.
Well, okay, so it was a choice between a really cool cannon, which uses dex, or a really cool sword. I imagine we'll find a really cool sword at some point. So Ninden will just take that off the dead body of our enemies. Yeah, but no, he's fallen back on some of his old soldiering that he learned in the Vescarium before he picked up entropy. So.
All right.
But Stubble is
let's-
right. Ninden
let's-
does have his new Avengers gear.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I was gonna say.
I like to think we all have new Avengers gear. We're like,
yeah, like everybody's costume's a little updated.
yeah.
But Ninden is definitely Iron Man in terms of the suit.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
like Hulkbuster.
Yeah,
Style.
Yeah, Ninden is
yeah.
big.
And it's playing.
I was looking at the end game coat for Black Widow for Halloween, but I decided it was too expensive.
Oh,
Oh.
It's like 150.
That would be.
But it was a cool coat.
That is a lot for a costume.
Yeah.
But it was like a real coat. It was like
Oh, it's
Leaf-
like a coat?
yeah, like
Oh,
a
yeah.
coat.
See,
It
my
was
bu-
like,
my buddy has the
Leaf
Star-Lord
Star-Lord
jacket.
one.
Yeah, hides
Yeah.
his $200 Star-Lord jacket deeper in the closet.
But Leaf wasn't doing Star-Lord this year, so I couldn't. I was like, no. If Leaf was doing Star-Lord again, I would do it, and we could match. But
I see, like 150 is within that's justifiable range for like an actual coat, but
yeah, but I'm
Uh-huh.
probably
You-
moving.
oh,
I don't
yeah.
need any more coats.
No, it's definitely not a necessary purchase.
And you're
No.
moving from Alaska too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So-
I'm never gonna need a coat again.
You're
I'm
never
going to
gonna-
California.
yeah, it's true. It's true.
You'll need a light jacket. Permanently.
I doubt it.
I will never need a coat again. Don't burst my bubble.
It's like when I moved from Nebraska down to Texas, and like it got to like the upper 60s, low 70s, and people got their jackets out, and I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Right?
Anyway,
Anywho.
anywho, speaking of cool new coats, what's changed about Kaylin? What did she get when she went out shopping?
So Kaylin at level 9 sort of doubled down on her mystic. Seth was kind enough to let us have some changes to our characters. So she really doubled down on being able to deal with other casters. She switched out some feats. Now she has spell penetration and greater spell penetration. No one. She's overcoming all the spell resistance here. And picked up haste as my new 3rd level spell.
Mm.
Yes, everyone loves haste. She also got Starflight as her 9th level connection powers. Now her Starlight form lets her fly. She can fly everywhere,
Nice.
all the time. And she picked up a fancy new disruption pistol. And stuck a holy fusion on that so that we don't have to deal with this can't hit incorporeal things anymore.
That works. All right. Hey, Mouse. Are you taking that gun that Mama dropped off?
Yeah. And with it, my new hover skates.
She turns them on. She
Do you like click your heels
rises
together?
like an inch or so from the floor, and now she's no longer tripped up by difficult terrain, and she can turn up the beat and add speed to her already speediness.
So yeah, how do you picture the boots activate? Is it like mind controlled, or do you like, is it a thing on your communication unit, or do you just click your heels together?
I mean, she's made a macro,
Sure. Yeah.
so
Of course. And Herald, any
So
changes you'd like to share?
yeah. So having lost Gur totally permanently, Herald took the opportunity and took some time to sort of retrain to be more offensively focused. Not like himself shooting people, that would be crazy. But instead of like speeding other people up or like protecting them from effects, he'll like help other people hit Mo better.
Becoming more of a battle captain than a rescue captain, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Here. Trying to make sure I'm not missing anything, because I'm gonna feel like a fool if I miss something. Okay. So, yeah, you've arrived at the hangar of the ship via a discreet method. There's some concern with the information that's been leaked prior to your arrival that somebody's keeping a close eye on your group, and considering the Afridi population, and considering that they've confirmed that the Malika had a presence here, it's best to make sure that they don't know what the Sundivers are doing. So, you're given discreet transport, and you arrive at the hangar, but it's revealed that there's actually a lower hangar on dark side, which is quote unquote the underside of the archipelago, the one that's not facing the center of the sun, one that most people are unaware of. So when you get onto the Sundiver, since it doesn't need to use the special tunnels that enable normal starships to arrive here, you can just leave through the bubble at the bottom, and hopefully nobody will see it happen, is the thought.
Nice.
Don't need
So-
roads where we're going.
Pretty much, you get the Back to the Future end of the movie upgrade Yeah, so you're in the ship and you watch as the environment around you starts to shift, and like various klaxons and amber spinning lights are on, and the lift that the ship is on starts to go down, and you get to see the inner workings of the archipelago, like the strange ancient structure that's still nobody knows who built this place. But they did a good job, and eventually you're lowered to like a lower hangar that you're able to launch from whenever you're ready.
Right, before launching, Harald will gather the crew together in the bridge, which is, just like one corner of the one room in the Sundivers. Well, it looks like we're doing this again. Each time we do this, it seems to get a little bit more important, and a few more people seem to depend on us. So I think that means we're doing an okay job. And I think that Gur would be proud of us and excited for our success. He's said as much by declining to join us. So, let's go find another city in the sun.
Firing as usual, Captain.
When you say that, I never know if you're being sarcastic.
Just smiles.
Bring us in.
So, indeed, once again, the Sundiver's engine flares to life, and we watch as it departs from dark side and vanishes into the sea of. And we will change scenes. Back to Gur. Are you still with me?
Well,
Oh
of
no.
course
Okay. I don't. It's hard to know.
In my
It's,
mind, in my mind's eye, Leaf races from the kitchen as soon as he hears Gur's name.
He's got a piece of buttered toast hanging from his mouth, orange juice in his left hand, coffee in his right, as he runs back to the computer.
Hey, now I ain't no anime girl.
It's very Rey from Evangelion. But yeah, let's see. We'll go with this one. Trying to figure out which soundscapes to use. Soundscape. After your talk with Z4, and after a very interesting experience eating your first meal in your new body,
What is that like?
Oh, jeez.
Look,
This ain't
I'm
no
not
burger
even-
club.
I'm not even gonna try to describe it. Okay, I don't know. I don't know how somebody who has two mouths on the upper front side of their face works. I don't understand. So everyone, just go into your mind picture palace and try to picture this thing eating.
Yeah,
I
just
think we'd be
imagine
used to
that,
this
like-
with Harald.
Right.
Yeah. I just imagine that they make everything into like a slurry, and they have cups, and they just sort of put their snoots in the cup.
they sip all their food with their little
They
snoots.
they snort all their food.
They snort
I
their
don't-
food through their mouths.
I don't see any teeth in there.
She said snoot. That's
Yeah,
that's
Yeah,
definitely
snoot.
a nose.
But like the mouth is at the end of the snoot. It's weird.
Like an aardvark.
A little bit. Yeah, so they eat
do
like
look
aardvarks.
a little bit like aardvarks.
Yes. So you're introduced to another individual of this strange race, which you've come to know are the Anasanoe. Her name Anesta, works with you to help you get used to moving. This body of yours now is much taller than you used to be, standing possibly over 7 feet. It's hard to gauge.
Oh my
really.
gosh.
Yeah, it's quite a shift. And on top of that, the muscular structure is weird. It's hard to know how much effort to put into getting your different limbs to go where you want them to go. But You're not sure how long Venator was bedridden, also, so you don't know how much atrophy is affecting this process. But she essentially starts putting you through physical therapy. You also get some time to be a little bit more familiar with communicating with your new arrangement, as she's like pulling double duty. She's helping you go through physical therapy, and she's helping you do speech therapy, just trying to get you up to speed over however long that's going to take. But something that you start to notice is that you can feel other people around you in a strange new way. Not only that, but you can understand how they feel on a certain level, possessing a heightened insight. It makes empathizing easier, but you suspect it makes it a little bit harder to hide your own feelings if everyone else is similarly capable. So far, most of the people that you've seen around you in this place are anxious. Some are even hopeless. But anyone that learns that you're a stranger, in quotation marks, becomes intrigued. It's almost relaxing to get distracted from the thoughts of the siege going on above your head, which you do occasionally hear the rumblings of combat coming through the ceilings. You're not sure how deep below the surface of the city you are.
Oh dear.
Not far enough.
Yeah. Did you have any questions for her as she helps you get used to this body?
No, not that I can think of.
How do I eat?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because I could ask all of these questions and take up the next 3 hours. So
That's true. That's true. We should probably trim the uninteresting bits. I suppose.
There's
Even
so
though
much.
I imagine people are at least somewhat interested in in eating.
Jeez, we're settling this now. Food goes in one side of the mouth, comes out the other.
No.
All right, so
That
when you
can't
eat,
be it.
you like lie your head sideways.
Here's your food ribbon. It's like a typewriter.
It's like
Aw.
those candy dots. It's instead of candy dots, it's
Candy dots.
protein.
It's like meat dots. Oh, man, you're right. It's perfect. We've solved it. We figured it out, guys. That's it.
We figured it out.
Meat
They
ribbons.
But at
Oh my
what cost?
I
We made
don't
it
even
up.
want to think about it. So, that one is fiction. So he would be interested in learning more about who's attacking, like where, like not who, but what tactics they're using, what I don't know, stuff like that.
Sure.
Information gathering.
Yeah. So Anesta will explain that this force is an occupation force from the Malika under the command of a General Kaim. These are all names that are very familiar to you.
Oh yeah.
The tactics that they used, and they're not sure how they bypassed the bubble shield because you need a code in order to do that. They suspect that there was some inside help from possibly some other Anasanoi, but they're not sure. But what happened is they brought a strike team initially, and what they did is they took the telepathic transmitter and they fitted it instead with an inhibitor. So even though you've kind of become used to speaking with your mind, she indicates that it's normally a lot more effective than it currently is. She envies you because you aren't currently experiencing this muddiness that everyone else is experiencing. It makes it difficult, even painful, to use telepathy-powered equipment, which most of the Anasanoi equipment is. You've come to find, and normally they can communicate at least twice as far with their minds as they currently can. It's like they're all covered in a shroud. On top of that, the communications networks have been taken down. She talks about these protectors that are the defenders of the city, and how there used to be 8 of them, and now there's only 2 that they know of, because the others have been killed, and one of them was captured. So things are not looking great. Most of their military might, which they haven't needed to rely on because they've existed peacefully for centuries, it just crumbled under the first wave. And now they're just, the Afridi invaders are slowly claiming strategic points and fortifying them to make sure that they can't be recaptured. They're just kind of systematically hindering the Anasanoi until eventually she figures they're either going to be enslaved or just executed. She's not sure.
Well, that won't stand. Well, if I have anything to say about it, at least.
She nods.
And
You can tell. Like normally, you can kind of tell with your normal observation how somebody feels, but you can actually kind of feel that she appreciates your sentiment, but she doesn't believe you.
Yeah, fair enough. Ger might not necessarily believe it either, so that doesn't help.
Yeah, great, real confidence booster. Thanks.
Hey, he's not used to people being able to read his actual emotions. Okay, it's kind of throwing his game off a little bit.
Well, no, I mean like to her also. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
thanks for believing in me. Yeah, you're doing your exercises and whatnot, learning how to move, and you're putting a little bit too much effort, and you find yourself kind of knocking yourself off balance every once in a while. But you feel Z4's presence again in the doorway.
Oh, this is always awkward.
And he's just kind of standing there and watching you, and he says, "You had a stronger body before, didn't you?"
Yeah, wasn't quite as tall, but there were a lot more, Nico starts going off about like muscle density and stuff like that, exercise talk, stuff that he knows about.
Mm-hmm. He's amused, and he just kind of nods and says, "Well, that's fine. You'll find our equipment is appropriately weighted, and for heavier equipment, as I understand you prefer, comes with motor assistance to make sure that you're not encumbered too badly."
Oh, well, that would be appreciated until I can figure out how to get some more gains.
He looks puzzled for a moment, but obviously your intent comes across, so he knows what you mean. It's just like, this is a weird way to put it.
He's just deflecting with humor.
Yeah, he comes in and gives you a once over and says, "How are you feeling?" And you're not sure if he means physically or emotionally, or probably both.
Yeah, and Gur goes to make a joke, but then kind of thinks about it again. He's like, well,
It's not easy. It's definitely not easy.
He nods and doesn't make a move to make any physical contact or anything, but you can feel that he does feel very sorry for you. He says, "I know you're going through something very tough, and I'm sorry to already ask so much of you, but I believe you probably already understand the situation we're in." And he looks over at Anesta, like there's some sort of understanding that you've been talking about the siege and talking about the situation that the city of Kalanal finds itself in. But he looks up and he says, "I've obtained some gear I believe you can put to use if you'd like to come with me."
Oh, I've been waiting to hear this all day.
He nods, and there's a hint of pride and respect, and he goes, "Good, and let's go." And he guides you out
Oh, Gur hops up, but then he stumbles a little bit.
A hand comes out.
Still getting used to those legs.
Doesn't touch you, but it comes out in case it needs to. It's a ready hand.
Yeah, no, Gur catches himself, but he needs to remember his legs are about, a good 3-4 inches longer than they were before, and they also bend the other way.
Joint. Yeah, there's another joint in there, one that you're not used to using.
I thought they were digigrade.
They're digigrade, right? So
it's the same number of joints. It's just they're in different places.
Well, no, there's an additional, because it ends with the foot also bends forward again. It's funky. Let me actually have, and this will be helpful reference just in general. This is what a standard member of this race indeed looks like.
They're so cool.
Yeah, so I guess you're right. It's like walking on it's like walking on your tippy toes a little bit.
Or a raptor.
Oh yeah. So yeah. As you he bows to Anesta before you leave, and she returns the gesture before you enter the hallway. Zephyr is similarly armed. It appears that he doesn't go a moment without his weapons, as if he's ready to enter combat whenever he needs to. It's easy to sense that he hopes it isn't too much trouble to get you up to at least a semi-competent level, but you can also tell he just has a lot on his mind. It's almost like he's more difficult to access than some of the other Ana Sanoe that you've met, just because of how much is on his mind right now.
Mm-hmm.
The hallways here, despite being sub-level, are quite gorgeous. Everything has a bit of a pearlescent shine to it, shimmering in corals, whites, and pale blues, as the clean, sterilized light reflects off of the different surfaces. Architecture is largely curved, very inviting. You've seen the inside of a couple luxury cruisers and stuff in the Pact Worlds, via pictures at the very least, and the interior of this place strongly evokes that level of quality everywhere you go. It's like you're walking in a massive yacht, almost.
Swanky.
But he turns his head, and maybe to distract himself and get to know you better, he says, "So, tell me a little bit more about yourself, Gur."
Oh, well, it's a short, sad, and uninteresting story, I'll tell you. Well, at least the beginnings were. And he kind of tells him about how he started off as essentially born as a slave on a Aposte,
Mm-hmm.
I believe. Is that it is.
Yeah, it's that Drow planet.
Yeah, that Drow planet. And his harrowing escape with the help of his mother, and and the irony of escaping slavery into slavery again. But then he kind of stops before he gets to the part about the sun divers, and just kind of trails off and kind of just thinks.
Yeah.
And misses them for a minute.
Yeah.
Aww.
And he can kind of sense that that's happening, and in order to maybe bring you some comfort, he relates to you that he was born here in this city and he's never left. The people of Kalanal they've never had the ability to leave. What this city was functionally was I'm trying to think of the word. It was a colony ship. They escaped their previous star system due to an invading army and found refuge. But when they all came to, when they came out of cryo sleep, they were inside of this sun, and their ship had been damaged in such a way that they didn't have the means to repair it. So it transformed into its state, which was a city that was intended to be shielded from harsh environments anyway, and they just kind of have been existing in this sun since before the gap, with no means of
Wild.
leaving.
Oh my gosh.
So hearing stories about these worlds and space travel, you can tell it's a very exciting concept to him, and you can feel a longing to maybe see somewhere that isn't this city at least once.
That's oh man, that's excellent. Gur is super into that. He picks up on that, and he like kind of starts trying to tell a little exploration story to him to distract himself, but also to kind of like get this guy's spirits up a little bit. He thinks back to one of like the cheap Hollow novels that he used to read, and like he tries to like accurately convey that little short story.
It's like C-3PO with the Ewoks. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't matter how fantastical the story is; it's gonna be received well. Like,
Right? Yeah.
it's like, whoa, that happened. Whoa.
It's like I know a really interesting story. It was of the three Skittermanders, and just goes off on that for the rest of the walk.
There's all kinds of interruptions, like, what's a Skittermander? And like, oh, what's that planet? What's on there? Who lives there? Like, it's
yeah,
it's
you're
a little annoying, if not a little endearing.
Yeah,
So
no,
cute.
Gur definitely annoyed by the interruptions, but also uses it as like as practice for like mental
Embellishment.
communication.
Oh, sure, yeah, that too. Yeah. Something that you notice though as you're passing through these halls is that you largely see either medical staff or soldiers, a lot of them wearing similar armor to Z4, with variations for what you assume are different specialists such as scouts or heavy weapons. Z4 will explain that non-combatants in this sector are being sequestered in another sub-level deeper down, and that there's shielding that will help them remain more calm, guarded from the emotions of those who are facing the conflict directly. They don't need to know how desperate the situation is his take on it.
Indeed.
You're not telling
Eventually.
him about the Sundiver?
Yeah, do you tell him at all about the Sundivers, or?
Yeah, I think after the initial distraction, Gur would say something to about of course he would say something about the Sundivers. I'm just trying to think of how is the problem.
Yeah, how he would put it, yeah.
Yeah. So I've got some friends. They totally have a ship that could get here. I just don't know if they know that I'm alive again, and I don't know how much time has passed.
Yeah, you have.
He's
no
struggling with
idea.
that thought in his mind right now. Like, are you guys even still alive? He doesn't
Yeah,
know.
man.
So he's kind of apprehensive about it. So he hasn't really mentioned anything about this the Sundivers yet. He's kind of thinking of a way to bring
Like
it
how
up.
to bring it up, yeah.
Yeah.
And he can tell that there's something that you want to say, but you don't know how to say it. But that's about as far as it goes. Now, when you try to think about this, like when you try to think about how much time has passed, because clearly at one point you were with your friends, and then you weren't, and now you're here, and you try to think about what happened in between these times, and you have only a very vague recollection of a strange place. You can remember gray. You can remember like this sense of melancholy just permeating through your mind, but you can't remember much else.
Oh.
But you feel that something came back with you, but there's no names, there's no faces, there's no recollection of events. You just know that you were somewhere else for a while. You just don't know how long you were there, and you don't know how much time has passed in the real world, quote unquote.
I can't even like get a sense of how long it was. Like, I can't even tell if it was sort of a long time or like years.
It feels like it was a really long time.
So yeah. Gur's worried the Sundivers are all dead and gone. If not, like, from in Ezelrod, like, just from old age.
Possibly.
So that makes sense. Although the activity of the Maliki group might.
This is a good point.
Yeah.
This is a good point. Okay.
Well, I don't think. Well, Gur isn't privy to the fact that the Malika group are. He's not privy to the fact that it seems like they're going to launch an attack on the archipelago.
No, but we do know that they were involved with the Sundivers and that they're also involved with the city, and that at least puts some sort of bound on the timescale.
Gur wouldn't know that they were involved with the city.
Well, yeah, and the Malika group's been
Yeah.
around for centuries.
Yeah, there's the Malika are spoken of in a apocryphal sense. Again, it's very biblical, like old books. So they've been around for a long time, and it's hard to say, like, if this is the same Malika, is this another group that claims to be the Malika? Who knows?
Yeah.
Right. He did.
Yeah.
He did though mention General Kine, right?
He did mention that.
Okay. So okay. We're
So
right
there's
in.
a-
He
there's a little
initially
bit of
thought
a
it could have
frame
been.
of reference.
Yeah. He initially could have thought, oh well, it could have been any amount of time, but now he's like, okay, so we're at least within a couple of years,
How long does a genie live? Right?
Yeah.
Like, how long does an Ifrit live? How long?
Shrugs.
How long would he be able to remain in control even if he does live forever, etc.
Right.
But eventually, you do reach the makeshift quartermaster's place, and for a structure being utilized for an unintended purpose, it's very well organized. You can tell that this person takes great pride in their work. But Zifor gestures at a set of armor and a selection of weapons, and he says, "Well, Gur, let's get you suited up, and we'll go ahead and move back to the Sundivers."
Woo! Huh, what?
I know. I'm trying to get back and forth between you guys.
No,
I'm
you're.
doing-
It's
I'm doing my
fine.
best. I'm doing my best. Let me see. Let me find the correct sounds here. There we go. I found noise. I have discovered sound.
It's good sound.
So yeah, once again, you find yourselves relegated to routine on board this small vessel. Once again, plunging into the depths of the sun. Once again, to visit some place nobody from the Pact Worlds has ever set foot upon. It's a little different this time.
Oh,
It's just so blasé.
It's a little different this time, as you know. You're coming to the aid of people whose city is under attack. Their aggressor, you now understand, is the same force that's been a thorn in your side for a while now. You recall the Brass Dragons, a secret arm of the Malika, an Afridi military force, were behind a militant uprising in Asana Town. They were behind a data heist from the DCI that would prevent them from learning about Noma. They attempted to assassinate you at the casino, and they attempted to steal the tablet you got from Noma in order to stop you from gaining access to Ezelrod. All this in service of attempting to secretly launch an invasion on a hampered and unsuspecting city, the Burning Archipelago. The hope with this mission is to free the people of Kalanal from the Malika, to prevent the Malika from using it as a secondary base on the Prime Material Plane, and to hopefully learn something that will help the Pact Worlds from stopping this invasion in the process. No pressure.
No
Yeah,
pressure.
no big deal.
No, none.
Do they reach out again?
Or
Or can we reach
the
out
people
to
of
them?
Kalanal?
The Nasana? Yeah.
They don't. Ever since that large communication, now at least a week ago, if not longer, it's been silent.
Well, that's bad.
yeah, not a good sign.
I guess as we continue deeper into the sun, Harald tries to keep everyone's spirits up and occasionally checks on whether Mouse has progressed into a novel stage of grief yet.
Is she accessible yet? Mouse accessibility check.
Denied.
Wow.
Confirmed.
Dear Lord,
Um,
if she stays mad for a while.
Ninden would
Mouse
probably.
does not forget. Mouse does not forgive.
Ninden would probably try and probe, talking with Mouse as well. Finally,
Go away.
sort of coming out of himself enough to notice that she's also struggling. Mouse, do you need any, I don't know, any help back here?
No, why would I need help? Everything's been moved down to my... I can reach all of the things now.
Well,
I'm fine.
that's good. Okay. Well, if I can be blunt, it just seems like you've been very angry lately, and I do think I understand.
Angry? Why would I be angry? What reason could I possibly have to be angry?
Well,
Just because a friend of ours decided that, just because you killed our friend and said friend decided that, I'm not going to come back and help them. I'd rather stay dead.
Gur had a hard life, and not that we don't have a hard life, but I can't blame him if he wants to stay where he is.
Oh, well, look at that. I can.
I'm sorry that you're hurt, Mouse. And I'm sorry for my part in that. But I just wanted to come check on you as a friend. And, I don't know. Let you know that I'm available. But I understand if you want to be left alone. I'm sorry for bothering you.
Thanks.
And she shuts the door, and then she cries.
Oh.
Progress, maybe? Who knows?
Can you hear the crying through the door, or is it?
Is it very loud crying? Because Ninden probably wouldn't walk away.
It's like the door shuts and some very ugly crying ensues on the other side.
It is a very small ship.
It is a very small ship.
She's down in the engine room.
Yeah, she cries next to
You
the
can't
engine.
hear her over the sound of the engine.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah,
This is what it sounds like when the mouse cries.
You know, aside from Gur not being present and Mouse also not being present in a way, everyone else is able to continue their standard routines. Burger clubs, board games, simulation games, and all that. Whatever occupies the time.
Charades.
Oh, charades! I bet Herald
Working out.
is Herald is either extremely good at charades or uniquely bad at them. I can't figure. I don't know.
You know, I bet he's really good at guessing what other people are saying, like, because he's got a really high sense motive, right? But I like to imagine that, like, he tries too hard. Like, he's trying to, like, you know, he tries to reference inside jokes, and they're, you know, just because it's out of context, people are like, what?
Wait, no, hold on. I feel like Herald's initial problem would be that he'd just turn into the object, and then, you know, the game is sort of ruined.
Yeah, so it
ruins it for
banned
everyone.
that. Like, he's no longer allowed to do that, and now he's like,
So what do I do?
It's like you have to mimic it without being it, Herald. And he's like, "Why would I do that?" Like, what does it
But
make
he's also got a
sense?
really high
Like,
bluff, which is how you send secret messages. So
That's true. I don't know. I think the conclusion we've reached is that playing charade with Herald is probably extremely entertaining
yeah, probably.
Oh, yeah.
in one way or
or
another.
disgusting.
It's probably, you know, there's a lot of appropriate adjectives, I think.
Little column A, little column B, that sort of thing.
But you know, it takes a while. It's almost a week's worth of travel, which, you know, this time is also passing for Gur in the background. But eventually, Mouse, you receive a signal from the computer that your destination is approaching.
Oh, good. Something to do other than mourn.
God, what does Mouse's calendar look like? But yeah, the signal is requesting presence on the bridge.
Sure, I'll gather everyone up on the bridge and then answer the hail.
Well, there's no hailing. It's just that it's letting you know that your destination is approaching, and that manual interaction with the equipment might be required, since this wasn't like a landing. This wasn't like a destination with an auto dock attached to it. It's a let's go here and figure it out kind of waypoint. So
Right.
it's like, hey, you're getting close to the waypoint, so
Yep,
maybe
yep.
get back to the controls.
Kalen puts down the plastic dinosaurs.
Ha, I get that reference.
Ha, I get that
Nice.
reference.
Did you watch those?
I don't get that
Yes.
reference.
I thought, wasn't that his name?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yep,
alright, I
yep.
get it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody
We
do
don't-
it. Just
But we already
don't.
lost our leaf on the wind.
No, too soon.
Uh,
Too soon.
but yeah, as everyone returns to your stations and starts getting ready to interact with your various positions on the bridge, your comms light up. There is a repeating message that comes through from a somewhat nearby vessel. Let's see. Sorry, I had to tab out of some stuff. There's a vessel that identifies itself as a capital war vessel of the Malika. The message
Oh, no.
warns all that receive the broadcast that they are to stay away from the ship city of Kalinal, as it is now under the Malika's jurisdiction. This appears to be a blast broadcast and not directed at anyone in particular, so you believe they haven't spotted you yet.
Well, that's bad if true. Kaelin, do you think you can keep us out of the range of their sensors and try to, I don't know, find a place to dock that they don't control?
That's certainly possible, Captain. See what we can do.
Let's we can get some, and I know Kaylin can do this now too because it's ship related. I don't know what would be more appropriate, either computers or engineering. I'll take either if you wanna try and figure out if that's a possible thing.
All right.
Mouse is better at both of those, so I could assist.
Sure.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's a 33.
Maybe I
Sure.
shouldn't need my help.
And she only
Right.
got a 13 on the die.
Yeah. So this is, if this is indeed a capital war vessel, you know that it probably, if it itself does not have a robust sensor suite, it probably has another ship accompanying it that does. So the idea of just kind of flying cleverly and staying outside of sensor range, if you're also looking to approach the city, is out of the question. You do know that you could reduce emissions from your vessel to make it harder to detect you. And you have a couple ideas as to how you could do that. But you suspect flying outside of sensor range and then still ending up at your destination would be impossible to do.
Well, that's a situation.
Alright, well, try that emissions thing. Do you think it's likely to work? We need stealth mode.
While you're in the middle of thinking about that, you do actually get a direct communication. This one is via a tight beam. You know that this is a very precise method of communication. It's like a laser almost pointed at your ship. And you know that this type of this communication, both Kalen and Mouse would know this just by default. That since it requires visual contact, it's got some restrictions. Obviously, you can't do this through like asteroids or other structures in space. However, it's almost impossible to intercept. So it seems like somebody's trying to get a hold of you.
Classic sci-fi trope. All right.
And secretly.
All right. We respond to the tight beam hail.
Indeed. Is that a classic trope?
I think so.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
the first time I've heard of like a tight beam as like a communication method that is close range and secret.
Laser comms.
Something like that.
But yes, once you answer the hail, you get a slightly garbled audio message. This is Captain Zyfor of Kalanal. Your ship does not match any known Afridi design. Are you the adventurers that Feyfell reached?
Yes, that's us.
There's a pause, and with that particular response, there's a bit of a pause. You hear, I trust you. I will transmit the coordinates to the closest landing bay, but be careful. The city is surrounded by war vessels. A stealth approach may be best, or failing that, a fast one. Here's the code to enter the city shield. We'll do our best to meet you at the landing bay. Wraithu, bless your flight.
Mouse looks over at Kaylin. So, stealth or speed?
What about stealth until they notice us and then speed?
Could work.
I'll sit on the guns.
Poor combat class in a starship role.
It's at least I'm good at it when it's required.
That's true. I like to picture like Ninden just sitting on a spinny chair next to the gun console, just kind of slowly just whirling around. And
Tinkering with his power armor is just sort of like standing next to his chair, and he's tinkering with it.
Right.
Looking at it forlornly.
Very briefly, we'll go back to Gur here. So Gur, it's almost been a week since you came into this, since you came to inside of this body and started to learn how to use it, how to communicate. Every single one of the Anasanoi, both through their unique brain anatomy and social upbringing, are very open. So this is probably a weird thing for you, but you're starting to get used to being open with people because it's almost a requirement here.
Yeah.
They're very empathetic towards you and your experience, which probably makes your transition a little bit easier, possibly. Zyfor himself is often busy coordinating resistance efforts to the point that you're almost positive that he never sleeps. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. There's been a moment or two where he was showing you around and helping you orient yourself, and he's voiced his frustrations and his exhaustion. Maybe because you're a new ear he can vent to, but you get the distinct impression that there's a level of trust between you two. While you integrate with the resistance forces, you catch wind of the sentiment that the Pact Worlds has dispatched assistance, actually. And that they're keeping a low profile from the invading force until that happens. So a lot of the operations that the Colonel Resistance would normally be undertaking have quieted down. Like, they're trying to not lose people in order to make sure that they have as many people as possible when that assistance from the Pact Worlds arrives. They're hopeful that the additional help will be all that they need to take out the occupants and hopefully reclaim the city. Though you understand how silly that hope is, considering how small of a team this probably is going to be.
No, I'm sure they're going to send a huge battle-ready fleet into the sun.
Yeah.
Hey, he doesn't know who they're sending.
Gur does feel a little pang of hope, though, that it might just be those fools.
Those Fortune's fools.
I think Sundivers has taken over the crew of the Fortune's Fool at this point.
Oh yeah,
We also,
we haven't touched the Fortune's Fool since episode 1.
yeah,
That
it's
Sheeran
still
took it.
there. Yeah, I don't think it's there anymore.
We never, guys, we
Farstar
forgot to
came
check
back.
it again. It's
It's
probably
got a-
like
We're back on
at the
Dodge Shore
impound
once
lot.
again. Yeah, it's impound.
It's got a boot on it. There's like 100 parking tickets on the windshield.
oh.
Yeah.
I mean, either that or Trent Farstar came and took it back.
No. Even better. All of that happened, and then Trent Farstar came and found it.
Trent Farstar
Are
finally
you the-
tracks it down. It's got a boot, 1,000 tickets.
Are you the
Yeah.
owner of this vehicle? I mean, I guess I am. But
Yeah, right, just, yes, this is mine. Oh, wrong.
I could
Oh, good. Well, we
absolutely- I
have
could
about
absolute-
1,000 credits worth of tickets on it.
Right, as they're putting him in handcuffs.
I could absolutely see this like in like a movie form. Like there's like a candid camera across the street, like filming him just like looking at a ship. He's like, "What the hell?" And then like some enforcers come up like, "Is this your ship?" And he's like, "Yeah, somebody took it." And like, yeah, someone stole it. That's why it's been parked here, not paying its dock fees for months. Yeah, a likely source.
Just checks the thing. Are you Trent Farstar?
Yeah.
You
Anyway.
parked it here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. That's the shape that came out. Like, that's who it was.
We saw you leave.
Just we have security footage of you leaving the ship here and paying the initial parking fee. And you still maintain it's been stolen, do you?
I guess what we're saying here is that Harald's the real villain.
That's true.
no.
Yeah. Shapeshifting
I mean,
is
we
a
had to get
dangerous
back to-
tool.
We had to get back to Dawnstar somehow. And he was drunk.
He deserved to lose his ship. Anyway,
He was
was asking for
no,
it.
I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna touch that.
wow.
With
With
10
Gur
foot
left
pole.
to his with Gur left to his own devices, what do you think he would be most interested in exploring in this subterranean resistance base?
Oh, geez. He's trying to learn all he can about this new culture because spacefarer.
Yeah.
He is
Uh,
super into that. Like
yeah.
this new alien life form that nobody's ever had contact with.
Yeah.
It's like
you know,
his idiom.
you have stuff to learn from them. They have stuff to learn from you. Gur, the chosen ambassador of the Pact World System. But you're sitting down to in mess hall, and a lot of people like to gather around you and just kind of talk because they find you fascinating. Also, you can speak while eating. That's a neat little bonus.
Huh.
Boy, they'll never shut me up again.
Because you're mental communication.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be really funny if you try to speak using telepathy while you're eating and it still sounds like you have a mouthful of food for some reason.
Yeah. Just don't speak with your mouth full. Just but
but it's mind talking.
Everybody
Um,
can taste what you're tasting through your mind.
Oh, they probably can. Oh,
Which is why
that's
it's
super
still
weird.
in
whether or
play.
not you
Gross.
like it. You can't.
Right.
You
Which is
can't
why
just
it's
be
still
like,
in
"Oh no,
play.
it's great. I love it," and just throwing up in your mouth. They're like, "Yeah, is that why you're feeling anxiety right now?"
But yeah, at some point during your explorations, your knowledge quest, Z4 actually approaches you again. This time, a little less downtrodden looking. It looks like he is more ready than usual, even though he still has his similar armaments on him. And he says, "Well, Gur, those adventurers from the Pact Worlds are coming in fast. I just spoke with them, so I think it's time to suit up. We could use your help retrieving them."
Did they give their names?
I didn't ask their names, no.
How many were there? Did you?
But the ship is the call sign the Sundiver.
I don't know if that communication, that information would come back via tight beam.
It
Just
doesn't
throwing
need
out
to
there.
if you don't want it to.
Yeah.
But the dramatic reveal.
They didn't. Yeah, he doesn't. He seems to have a frustratingly small amount of information, and as you question him about these people that are coming to help, it maybe becomes more apparent to him than he is comfortable with that he's putting a lot of faith in a very unknown variable right now, and it makes him feel a little less capable of a leader. Thinking about it.
Aw,
Sensing
poor
that,
guy.
Gur kind of backs off a little bit and says, so are we? Should we be preparing then?"
He nods. He says, "They've agreed to meet us at a nearby landing bay. I say nearby, but it's the closest one. But I'll arrange transport. I'm already working on that. Just get your gear, suit up, and meet us in the hangar bay.
Yes, sir. And without another word, he just kind of turns and heads off for his gear.
It's easy enough to obtain. You've practiced putting it on enough that you know that you can do it during the trip, like on the vehicle. You put on the essentials. The rest of it can go on while you're riding. And speaking of that gear, there's some new art. I'll go ahead and put it up on the screen.
Yay!
It's,
Oh boy.
So cool.
Oh my god.
He is way
So-
cool.
It's Gur's new outfit.
Yes.
And body.
His new
and all
skin
that.
suit.
Yes.
So while donning this equipment, you do meet up with Z4 in the maintenance tunnel outside of the base, in quotation marks, which has been described to you as a series of roads that run under the surface of the city that can be used to traverse from place to place without notice. It is the only reason there is still a resistance. Behind a stack of containers is a large vehicle. It looks like an exploration vehicle of some kind. The
Mhm.
design looking as though it's as if a yacht was combined with an APC.
Oh, nice.
Think the exploration vehicles that you use in Mass Effect, like the Mako and whatnot.
That's exactly what I was thinking of.
Man, I
So
hope
you
it's
go.
easier to drive.
There's no. It is easier to drive because it does not have wheels. It is a hover vehicle. So, standing by Z4 are 3 other Anasanoi, each with standard loadouts. They watch you approach and give you a short, respectful nod. Excellent, Z4 says before he steps up to the passenger side of the vehicle, before motioning towards the back. He says, "We have to travel light in order to accommodate the reinforcements, but that'll make our steps light and harder to detect." The sentiment projects a firmness of command and a sureness that instills some calm. He says, "Stay vigilant. Don't make yourselves known unless you have to. And let's move." He signals to the driver once everyone has loaded onto their seats, and the vehicle lifts from the floor, almost silently jumping forward and rounding the containers to start rapidly driving down the tunnel. Only the quiet pulse of the hover engines heard during the smooth flight. You know that you have some time to get to know the other soldiers that you're going with. Maybe some that you've met before. There's a Mephram, she's a rifleman. She's friendly and confident. And there's Dayan, the medic. He's a little bit more mission focused, but amicable below the hardened surface that he projects. And the driver, Terajak, seems to be in a little bit of pain as he drives for more than a few minutes. And you're reminded, either through just remembering your discussion with the person who rehabilitated you, or by asking somebody here, that anything that is controlled via telepathy causes some pain with extended use. And it appears this vehicle is controlled via telepathy. So Terajak is putting himself through a little bit of pain in order to get the job done.
Womp womp.
I'm sure it's a very zen and focused thing. Like, they're all very used to this type of pain, so they just kind of
At this
bear
point.
it and accept it as it is.
Yeah, but there's still a little bit of that is
Oh, of
transmitted.
course, of course.
Telepathically, mentally, you understand that pain is being felt.
Yes.
But yeah, aside from that, you're just kind of zipping down the tunnel on your way to the landing bay.
Gur will take a moment to do his final gear check too. Just make sure everything's set and working properly. Turns his infrared sensors off and on again. Does a little check. Of his of stuff, things, guys. He's checking things.
He's making sure all of his equipment is doing the thing.
Yes.
Wants to make sure all the things are thinging properly.
Yeah. I was going to talk about it, but no, I just want people to. I think I'd rather people just kind of see it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's good. So, we're going back to the Sundivers.
This
based on
music
your
makes me worry. Oh, I'm sorry.
Samesies, man.
This music makes me worry that our stealth approach did not work.
we haven't gotten there yet.
We have no dice on the table yet. We don't know.
There's no dice on the table. Inside joke. I'm not going to get into it.
I don't appreciate that there's not more dice on the table, guys.
Can't play mechanics, man. Anyway.
I'll show you dice on the table.
Based on your relative distance from the city that you're, and your general understanding of ship sensors, that you believe you're reaching a point where, if you're going to try and stealth your way past the occupying fleet, or rocket past them before they can react, this is the time to make the decision.
We're gonna try to
Now,
stealth.
Franken time. All right.
Okay.
And then rocket past if it fails.
Okay. So you start to get within visual range, and what you see before you is a sprawling, massive city. From physical observation, it appears to be a collection of islands and shielded bubbles, just like the archipelago. I welcome perception checks or even engineering checks if you like.
Ooh.
I rolled a 1. That's only a 24.
Natural toot for a 14.
35 for engineering.
18.
Okay. Goodness. Kaylin almost makes it there. She sees all these different pieces, and they look really elegant, and it looks quite beautiful from afar. Mouse, you look at the way that all these different islands are shaped, and you suspect that at one point they all fit together. And putting it together kind of like a Rubik's Cube in your brain, it looks like it at one point was just a massive sphere and has turned into this shape.
Huh.
Just a little detail. But yeah, let's get to that stealth approach thing. There is, surrounding this city, a fleet, with a capital F, of decorative brass and gold ships that have positioned themselves around the city. The largest ship is in a broadside position, and you watch as a series of cannons fire a salvo, their payload setting off a ripple of explosions on the surface of the shield. You're able to take it in, and it isn't until you get close to the shield that the alert comes on to tell you that you've been detected. So your stealth approach was working for a little bit, but now that you've gotten close to the shield, you know that these ships have now detected your presence. But you're pretty close to the, but you're pretty close to the shield.
Zoom! Zoom past.
Indeed. Looking around, maybe through the different cameras, you can see some interceptors are scrambling from the side of ships, and they're kind of making their way towards you. But Kaylin, you know that you've got this on lock, and you can, using the code that Z4 has provided, hopefully at least, go straight through the shield without bouncing off of it.
Let's find out
slamming
together.
into
Does that
it
mean
at
you
the
want
speed.
dice?
I'm sorry. One at a time?
I said hopefully. Does that mean you want dice?
Oh no, but if you want to try and make a really impressive entrance, you can roll piloting if you want.
You want to make an impressive
I
entrance.
feel like you might want to.
34.
Woo!
Jeez.
Kaylin overrides the autopilot and finds an efficient path, carving it directly towards the shield bubble. The ships that are trying to intercept you, they don't have a chance, and none of the capital ships are capable of firing on a vessel as small as the Sundiver, the little sun kernel, shooting directly towards
Sunspot.
Colonel. It's a little sunspot. But yeah, you breach past the shield, and all of the ships that were pursuing you break off, knowing that there's no way that they can continue to follow you.
Aha, suckers!
So
We flip him off through the rear view window.
Yes, that exists.
So, whoop. Let me do a thing. And unfortunately, I regret to inform everyone that we're back to just taking screenshots of the PDFs. So
Huh.
we've got.
I thought they fixed that.
I thought
How
they did too,
strange.
but on this book they didn't. So I can't. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but
Editing
Paizo.
slacking.
oh, I don't know. Like it seems like it's just a formatting thing. It's probably very easy to just not think about.
Probably, yeah.
Um,
Ooh, it's pretty.
indeed.
So cool.
So
Oh wow.
once within the shield, you are greeted with a closer look of this still beautiful city. Practical structures are surrounded and complemented by strange swirling spires, buildings with a slow curve that end in points, spherical structures, most built in a radiant white or reflective silver. Also surrounding these structures is an array of greenery, vast parks with sculptures and tasteful architectural wonders. You suspect that before this occupation, the society enjoyed a very peaceful and prosperous time. A closer look reveals that along the roadways and long divots cut through the city parks that might be some sort of rail system, there are some small proxy fights happening. You see fires, you see weapon discharges, you see troop movement and formation in scattered places around the city. But that's only for anybody who's looking through the cameras. Galen, you see the landing pad that Z4 told you about, and it is approaching quickly. From the looks of it, a ship has crashed there, and half of the hangar wall on the northeastern side is knocked down. The ship that has crashed there appears to be of Afridi origin.
Huh. All right. Well, I'll bring us in.
All right. As you begin to descend, you watch as the towers around the landing pad start to open up at the top, and structures that look like gun barrels emerge before they all turn and point directly at the Sundiver. Before you can react, they all open fire and,
Oh, no.
and immediately blow out the Sundiver's shields.
Oh God!
dear.
I imagine there's a bunch of like alarms going off.
Oh yeah, the control panels on each system lights up. There's all kinds of alerts.
We got
Alarms for
played.
days.
Captain preparing to return fire.
Right as Ninden finishes saying that, another turret salvo hits the ship and starts it spinning out of control.
Ah!
What? No.
Go ahead and make a piloting check.
32.
Oh yeah. So it's a very strong blast, and think about how like a car gets hit by a pit maneuver. Like the blast hit the back side of the ship and sent you into a bit of a tailspin. Kaylin is able to recover from the spin just enough to make sure that the crash landing isn't too painful, but she guides it directly into the hangar, smashing down into the southwestern corner of it. And as that happens, we will go ahead and go to break, I think, because we're right at that time.
Ah!
Okay. If we must.
You monster!
I know. I'm the worst.
Simply the worst.
But yeah, let's go ahead and take a 15-minute break. So we'll be back at 15 minutes after the hour. Find the bathroom in real life in the meantime. I invite you to do the same. And we will be back to explore more of Kalinal, city of turrets that suddenly shoot you out of the sky, apparently.
More
Right?
on spaceship.
All right, so yeah, we're gonna go do that, and don't go anywhere. I found my bathroom. Tom?
You know, I ended up in my landlord's bathroom, which very awkward, let me tell you.
Oh, wow.
Was it in use?
No, thank God.
That'd be even worse.
It was just very awkward coming out and having to explain. Oh, sorry. You know how it is.
That reminds me of that Mabim Bam episode with the secret bathroom, but let's not go into that.
Uh-huh. I'm a big fan of those good boys.
The Mackle boys.
The Mackle boys.
Yeah, like the McElroys, but
No, I get it.
but with
The
boy
McElroy.
replaced with Roy.
Whenever I hear the name,
We see what
McElroy-
you did there.
Oh, is it McElroy or McAvoy, the guy who's playing God, I almost called him Picard. Professor X in the X-Men movies.
Oh, I don't know.
I feel really bad for him because those movies aren't good, and I feel like he probably would have been a good Professor X in a good X-Men movie. But oh well, that's not how reality played out.
That's
Yeah.
not how it happened.
That's not how it happened. Referencing Prince of Persia. Is that
That
Is that where we're
didn't
going with
happen.
that
Yep.
didn't happen. Oh god, yeah. Oh, we could have what's his name? Frakes. He could play the Prince of Persia.
Frakes.
Yeah, well,
That didn't
that
happen.
didn't happen, guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also
Oh, okay.
Riker.
Yeah, Riker. I'm sorry. Everyone knows him as Riker. We could have him play the Prince of Persia, and then whenever you use the Sand of Time to rewind, he'd be like, "It didn't happen."
That one was made up by an author.
Anyway, I think Mr. Frakes is going to accompany us to the end of this AP. I just have a sense that meme has some real staying power. I don't know about you guys,
Yeah, with this group for sure.
but anyway, when I think we left off on something of a cliffhanger. I don't know. Do you guys want to get back to it?
Yeah,
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 alright.
definitely.
I guess.
Ninden is
mean-
like scrambling into his powered armor as we're
I could-
crash landing.
I could also
Pronking
talk
got
you guys
shut
through my
down,
breakfast,
not
you know.
okay.
Oh yeah, let's hear what Leaf ate for breakfast.
So it was a real nice spread. It was
I'm bored.
God,
Okay,
no.
Did have some
let's-
breakfast
anyway,
sausage.
Starfinder. Let me get to some appropriate scary music. Or not scary, just there's a threat. Your ship just crashed. So yeah, you're on the approach to this hangar, and these towers opened up, revealing themselves to be anti-aircraft batteries of some design, and they have shot the Sundiver, very quickly rendering it incapacitated.
So rude.
Thanks to Kaylin's quick reaction and her skillful piloting, she's able to turn a full-on tailspin into something of a controlled crash landing. Even still, the ship smashes into the ground in the hangar, spinning a couple more times before it comes to a stop against the side of it. The ship is tilted at almost a 45-degree angle. Then you're kind of left inside the bridge. Hopefully everybody has buckled up and hasn't been tossed from their seats.
Mounts always buckles up. Safety is very important.
All right, sound off. Everyone okay?
What the pronk was that? And you hear Ninden struggling to get into his powered armor.
Well, we did know that they were under siege. Everyone get ready for presumably a fight.
Why would they do that? They knew we were coming.
I mean, if the Maliki have taken part of the ship.
Captain, they're the Malika.
All
Oh,
of them just giving up
Oh.
on correcting him.
Malika. Why has no one said that before?
We have.
Multiple times, Captain.
Well, I don't remember it.
And whose fault is that?
Doesn't matter what they're called anyway.
All right,
they're just
everyone
gonna be dead
pile out of
soon.
the ship.
You do find that the landing ramp does open, not fully, but it opens enough where you can scramble out of the small exit that it provides. Let's see here. As you emerge from the craft, your senses start to come back from the shock. Crashing in a ship is not it's not a gentle thing. Your brain takes a little bit to recover from the intense situation.
I don't even have a brain.
I don't know if that's true.
I have a
That
neural.
explain.
I have a neural network.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
see, the thing is, I was gonna make the joke that explains so much, but then you have to ruin it.
You can still make the joke, Mouse.
Nope, gotta be scientifically accurate. It's kind of
Not
my
allowed.
shtick.
Oh, I meant to ask this during the break.
Oh, yeah.
Who has the highest initiative? Is it Ninden?
I have a +10.
I'm gonna battle mind link Ninden and Herald, I think.
Is that
Okay.
a thing?
Man, I only
Before
have
we
6.
step out.
Okay.
Ooh.
So when you get out, you're starting to recover your senses. You can start to discern different from the sensation of the wreckage, which you can see behind you. The Sundiver, it's damaged, but it's not a total loss. It looks like it could be fixed. It might take a little bit to do, but it's not. Don't worry, you still have your ship. Is what I'm trying to say.
I imagine we have bigger concerns at the moment.
You're not sure, but you're looking around and you can feel the ground is shaking a little bit. And from the pattern of the shaking, it almost feels like footsteps, but like really, really big footsteps.
Oh. That's concerning. Ninden pokes his head around this ship here.
I don't like it.
For all intents and purposes, let's forget that this ship is here. This one I'm referring to, that is not present. So the hangar is largely empty. But as you start to look around, whatever it is actually finds you. Rounding the corner from this control tower to the northeast of the crashed Sundiver.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Pronk.
What? I don't see it. Oh, there it is.
A finely
Oh.
initial aura?
You're gonna need to make a roll to identify it as a
course.
character, but indeed a what could only be described as a huge dinosaur-ish T-Rex-sized creature with phasic claws rounds the corner, fire licking from its form, and it turns its head and looks directly at the crew before it lets out a loud roar.
Maybe it's friendly.
Dear listeners, it is effectively imagine a Ren Crota, but with crazy psychedelic flame patterns painted on it.
And like
It's
scythe
nuts.
hands.
Yeah.
And scythe, yes.
It still has. So basically, imagine a Tyrannosaurus Rex, if you don't know what those other ones were, but with other bits added on, such as a row of insect-like eyes along its the top of its skull, and
Which has like a plate. There's a
Yeah,
plate on
and-
top of the skull.
perhaps more prominently, 2 sets of almost praying mantis-like arms.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, one of those is much smaller and kind of,
Oh, no,
still
there's two. There's
funny.
2 little praying mantis arms. I see them there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's little tiny ones.
second little set of those, and they're kind of tiny and cute.
There's also spikes
Uh,
coming out of its butt. That's a
Yeah,
little
I
weird.
don't know
that's
what
a
those
weird
spikes
choice.
are for. I'm
I
kind
don't
of.
know.
That's for
I don't know what
sitting
that is.
someone to death.
It's got to make sitting really uncomfortable.
They just
And
never
then some sort of
Mm.
weird some sort of weird tentacle bulbous attachment at the end of its tail that I really hope is just for show.
Oh yeah, totally just for show.
Looks like
And
a
this is a
beholder's
moment where my
eye.
eyes widen and I look at the camera. The tail doesn't do anything. Don't worry about the tail.
Bro says it should always have a synth theme playing behind it.
Yeah, it's very 80s. This is the most 80s monster out there.
Speaking of
for
synth
sure.
themes, is there battle music for this monster?
No, because we're actually gonna change scenes real quick.
Oh.
What?
Curse you, Seth. Curse
Ah!
you.
So what? Whoop. We're gonna move back over to Gur.
Rude.
What?
So the hover truck actually hits a ramp and starts to ascend towards the ceiling of the maintenance tunnel. You watch it rapidly approach, but you feel no sense of concern from your team. And very shortly before impact, the ceiling lifts and retracts, opening smoothly before the truck's front and closes behind it after it ramps up into the air and smoothly returns to normal hovering height. You feel a bit of a sway as the pilot regains control. But this is when you see the city for the first time. So that gorgeous sight that the Sundivers saw as they approached, now you see this, the towering spires of silver and ivory.
He's super into it.
The trees whizzing past. It reminds you of the nicest parts of the archipelago, spanning out as far as your eye can see.
He's just in awe for a bit, but then he kind of like regains focus and remembers why he's here.
Yeah. While you're in awe, Ziffor will look over his shoulder at you and say, "Welcome to Kalinal." He gestures forward at the damaged structure off in the distance with towers surrounding it. That's where they're landing, and that's the craft now, he says, pointing up about 10 o'clock from the forward viewport. If you go as you go to look, you can recognize the Sundiver as it smoothly sails over the building tops below.
Yeah.
This makes it particularly funny, given that we know what happens next.
Yeah. Oh, so no. Gur says, "Oh, those are my friends. Yes, fantastic."
Z4 looks over at his shoulder at you with his wide eyes, and he goes, "Oh, these are your friends."
Yes, they're. Well, I suppose I haven't really told you about them. After all of that, and he kind of explains, in as short a time as he has, just very briefly, his companions and his, sordid adventures he had.
Sure.
At the beginning.
Or maybe he starts to explain.
He starts to.
Just the beginning. Not like, he wasn't going to even go into that much detail anyways. Just kind of like,
right.
Yeah.
He
doesn't want to mention freeing an eldritch god to these people.
Sure. Well, he doesn't know that happened. Gur wasn't
he
present
doesn't.
for that.
He was dead.
Indeed. He was prunk indeed, mate. But,
He's not quite dead yet.
So as Gur starts to relay this at the speed of thought, you notice that the rest of the crew feels a sense of relief at seeing somebody who is there who is ostensibly there to help for once. All of their eyes are fixed on the ship. Obviously to Gur it means something different, and they can sense that there's a greater connection there.
Sorry. Hey Seth, I actually got one for you. We're gonna kind of show off a little bit of Gur's new abilities here. He will actually go ahead. Oh, I know it's in here somewhere. Where is it? He. Yes.
Uh-oh.
He wants to tell him all about these guys now that he knows that they're here and alive. So he kind of just starts going a mile a minute, and then he just stops things and kind of just touches his commander's like the top of his head and uses mind link.
It's a Vulcan mind meld.
And just instantly transfers all of this information into his brain.
Gotcha.
So there you go.
So not fair. I don't think that's another level.
You should be able to. Oh, it's probably
no. It's like that's like an 8th level mystic. It's a high level mystic power, man.
It's a connection related thing, isn't it?
No.
It's a level 2 thing, Nick.
Yeah, I don't think that's.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
not very
well,
high.
Land Link?
Yeah.
No,
It
I
also
don't
has a
have
level
that
1 or
yet.
Level 2
You
spell.
There is a spell for it, yeah. Oh, mine's Telepathic Bond.
Yeah.
It's level 11.
Oh. Well, my telepathic bond is a little bit different. But
More
either
on
way,
it.
Mind
what
Link,
happens is
second
what
level
happens is-
ability.
so what essentially happens is Gur uses a quick telepathic link to communicate 10 minutes of information within 6 seconds. So that enables him to give Zephyr a very good impression of who these people are and what they mean to him. And he understands now a little bit more how big of a moment this is for Gur as well. And knowing that he'll be reunited with his friends just brings that much more comfort. But in an instant, the entire crew watches as the towers open up and fire on the ship, causing it to lose control and crash directly into the hangar. It happens so quickly, but you can feel the panic seize Zephyr and the Anasanoi around him. They all lurch forward and grip the console. And Zephyr shoots a look over at the pilot, and the pilot, in an instant, you can hear the engine of the hover truck thrum loudly, and the change of inertia is felt as the speed of the vessel increases greatly. You're tugged backwards to the back of the vessel. Let's see.
Gun it.
Indeed. So Zephyr says, "Weapons ready," and he pulls out his own long arm and starts charging it. A hand reaching up to rest on the release for his safety harness. He says, "Be ready for combat as soon as these doors open. The Ifrit have seized the landing bay."
Ruh-roh, Shaggy.
So the truck pulls up to the hangar and stops only a couple dozen meters away. The Anasanoi peer out of the windows and watch for combatants on the approach. As soon as the vehicle comes to a stop, the doors open on the back and sides, almost like a repeated video game animation. All of the troopers leap from the APC in unison, finding a nearby low-risen wall with foliage decorating the top, and they all take cover behind it, like with their heads down below visible range. And only Nephrim, the rifleman, peers over the top of the wall to observe. This is not.
Gur's stacking up right there with him.
Oh sure, he easily mimics this tactical movement, I'm sure. Zephyr tells Gur not to worry too much about keeping up and just to stay hidden and provide support from the rear, which might be a little bit insulting, but he doesn't know how much he can expect from Gur yet.
Yeah, Gur kind of just rolls his eyes. He wants to be there to meet his friends and save his friends.
Absolutely. You notice that from the outside, there's some glass that allows you to see inside the hangar. You can see the crashed Sundiver. You can't see any of your friends yet, but around this central structure, which is a control tower of some sort, you do see the Nishalora walk around and start approaching the Sundiver. It looks like it's intent on attacking something nearby.
Pronk.
Beyond that, you also see. You also see a set of Azur's soldiers stacking up on the southern side of the building. There's 3 of them, and you can see them approaching the southern door. And I would like a perception check also.
Oh, I thought you would never ask, because that has gotten so much better.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
I still rolled a 3. I rolled a 3, but dear listeners, it's a 21 with all of my bonuses.
Goodness. We have another perceiver.
You do. Gur the Perceiver, they call me.
You're the perceiver. What you perceive is on the catwalk, which is raised above. I know this is very difficult to tell just because of the way this map is drawn. There is. Wait, is it Control Z? I forget what it is.
Oh man, this guy must be really cool.
What is the command to
It is Shift Z.
Shift Z? It's not.
Should
it's
be.
not
There
we
it is.
go. Here we go. I couldn't find
Look
any
at this
art.
motherfucker.
I couldn't find any art for for like an Azure sniper, but I just decided to give him angry eyebrows and cool sunglasses.
Really using
So
those
gave him the-
skills.
You give him the Gurren Lagann look.
Indeed. So Gur, you notice
He
that
looks
there's a sniper
badass.
on the catwalk, and it looks like he's taking aim down at someone below.
So to clarify, these
Alright.
things that look like hallways are actually catwalks.
Yes, and they go down outside of the building. So like there's an entrance on the outside of the building, and they lead up to where ships would dock normally at a certain height, and then those lead into the control tower in the center. It's a very strangely designed building.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't quite understand it
I see.
myself.
So
but
those doors like up here don't lead down.
they're
to the
above
ground
you,
level.
like 20
I see.
feet up.
Okay, and that's where
Yes.
ships would dock if
There's-
they weren't shot out of the sky.
Right.
Jerks.
Got
so
it.
with all that understood, I think it's time for us to roll initiative.
All right. So
I have to
Finally.
bring up my
Alright.
dice.
Ninden
So-
and Harald each roll, and then they use whoever's die roll is higher and add their own bonuses +2.
Oh.
That's a neat thing.
So, now my question is, where am I and where is my party?
Indeed, I will put you on the board. Sorry, I
Alright.
realized
Nope,
that you're
you're
not going to
fine.
be able to roll initiative
Ninja and
until
I both
do
rolled
that.
terribly.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
But I'll
Drat.
take
See, I
it.
want both of you to go first. This is why I linked you.
I know,
Yes,
I know.
that makes
It'll
perfect
usually
sense.
work. Sometimes it won't.
As long as we don't roll an 8 and a 4. But I mean, I'm still rocking a 20 then with that +2, and so is Harald is.
I already
You get
included
4
my
better.
2, so yeah, so we're at both at 20.1.
Yes.
You guys are still going way earlier than me and my 10. Bitter.
So, Gur, you can stack yourself up wherever you like. This is where your party is, over on the southwestern side of the building. Here.
Okay, got it. That must be me back there. I will do with it what I will.
Yes, this is this little fella here.
I'd envisioned him kind of like right here.
Okay, that works.
But
But yeah, as you were approaching, you did notice the sniper, and you believe the door to the north of you would allow you to access said sniper.
got it.
You know, accessible snipers. It's good for a sniper to be accessible.
Totally.
I have to add so many turns right now. it's kind of bonkers.
Yeah.
Rough.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Natural toot.
Oh, you got a natural 2 on your initiative?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm living for.
It's so on brand.
Yeah, it
for
is.
Cosmic Crit and for NSA. We just roll a bunch of 2s here. So if you're somebody who doesn't like a group of people, if you don't like your actual play podcast to roll 2s, get out of here because it happens a lot.
Gone get.
We're gonna disappoint you. Let's see here. I probably should have done some of this in advance. Come to think of it. Just
Yeah,
because-
you can roll their initiative and hide them on the GM layer and see them.
We'll have to talk about that at some point because yeah, this is cumbersome.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
GM troubles, man.
That GM life.
Because that's the thing is like I'm not only just rolling the enemies, I'm also rolling the allies. So, oh my goodness.
This is gonna be like a 15-person initiative tracker, isn't it?
It's gonna be somewhere around there. What I could do is I could just put all the Azure soldiers on one initiative if you guys are okay
Yeah,
with
that
that.
cuts down a few
You
spots.
still have to roll all of them and take the lowest one, as if they had delayed.
You don't have to.
Right.
You're the DM. You can do whatever you want.
That's true. I will.
Well, or just put them all at the end.
I'll go ahead and do that anyway, which puts them at a 14, but below the sniper. So. And then do the same for the Anasanoi. After Z4, oh my gosh, I'm just speaking goofy words now.
Yeah.
After the Hoopapadoo and the
Yeah,
Zuba
you know,
what's it?
the whip hoppers and the and the Bolinos.
Yeah.
Okay. Criminy. That'll do it. And now, after all of that is done, let's start the tracker. Kaelin is first. All of that to find out that Kaelin is first.
All right. Let's
If you'd
see.
like, you can give me a perception check, since the only thing you currently see is the Nissalora, and with good reason.
Oh, with pleasure. That is a 30 on my perception.
Oh yeah. As you're taking in your surroundings, you do notice that somebody is peering up over the railing on this catwalk here, and he's taking aim with a rifle.
Ah, we've got a sniper, guys.
I
Ninden,
got him.
Ninden, I don't suppose that power armor of yours has a jetpack.
No.
What about Fly? Looks meaningfully at Kaelin.
I
I
can't
think
help you
flight
fly.
is a technomancer spell. Oh, you mean like jetpack? Like Kaelin has a jetpack.
Oh yeah, I could get up there, but 55, 20, 40. It's a little bit too far away. What do I need to identify that big T-Rex thingamabob?
Well, that would be mysticism.
Oh, perfect. That's what I like to hear. Let's do that. That's a 28.
Oof. You made it, but you get one piece of information.
One useful piece of information.
Mhm.
Resistances, please.
It is immune to fire, and
Figured.
it has resistance to electricity and sonic, both at 10.
Rude. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I had that holy fusion. Is it an outsider?
Does that also give vulnerabilities, or is that a different piece of information?
It's up to you. That's
Okay.
it just
You
is
just-
useful piece of information, and however
Right.
you want to interpret that is
Sure.
Janus.
You suspect it's also vulnerable to cold. Understandably.
I call this out to my friends.
Okay.
And what's the range on this? Close range. Oh, but you know what? If I move like here under this catwalk. Whew, yes I can. Okay. I'm gonna move up here. And I'm gonna use, where is it? My slithering chain. Oh, but it would be a full round action. So instead, I will do 2. I have to have a full round action.
If you're
I will
planning
try
to attack
to-
it, you can wait until after me, and I'll help.
Oh, better yet. I'm gonna move here, and I'm gonna haste the party.
Oh, that's better.
The party.
Nice.
Does also party allows you, so haste enables you to target them, like a group of people?
Up
Up
to
to 9
9
creatures.
That's incredible.
It was like that in
Wow.
Pathfinder too.
No
I
2 of which can be more than 30 feet apart.
I did not play a lot of Pathfinder, so
So, my party's. I don't know that these guys are here, so
yeah.
sadly, Gur does not get haste.
I didn't want your
So-
haste anyways.
Sorry. Yeah, you did.
I
Yeah, you
did.
did. Don't lie.
So when
I
making a
definitely
full
wanted-
attack, a hasted creature can also take a separate move action in order to move. Can occur before, after, or between the attacks of the full attack. All movement must occur at the same time. All of the hasted creatures' modes of movement increase by 30 feet to a maximum of twice the target's normal speed, using that form of movement. It is an
Wow.
enhancement bonus, so it doesn't stack with your speed suspension or your hover skates or anything else.
Now, my question is, does that interact with the power armor?
Is your
Does
power
power
armor an
armor-
enhancement bonus?
No. I guess
Well,
that answers that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And yep, that's my turn. I tell everybody
Alright.
about the resistance.
Okay.
Ninden
Crimes
mutters
for
Kronk
change.
under his breath.
Right. Yeah. What kind of weapons did Ninden bring? I
Ninden
guess-
picked up an electricity weapon with a sonic fusion on it. When you said, "Oh yeah, it has electricity and sonic resistances," I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" Both. Ah. How
that's not
much
good.
was the resistance? What was the number?
10 for each.
Son of a. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. It's
I bet
It's
the other
pretty
guys
rough.
won't have that kind of resistance. So
yeah. So let's see here. There's something that I need to understand about the get 'em improvisation. It has a range, right?
Mm-hmm. 60, I
Uh,
think.
60 feet? Okay.
Let me check. Whoops. The bonus persists even if the enemy moves beyond those 60 feet, though. So you only need 60 feet at time of application.
Okay. So Gur, did you communicate that there was a sniper to your team?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And I think he'd actually start making his way up towards the door.
Sure. Z4 actually acknowledges that and says, "I think you can handle a single sniper. Go take care of it. Team, on me." And he starts to round the corner, drawing out his sidearm, and he will go ahead and point out this particular Azure soldier and tell his team to focus fire on it. As it turns out, Z4 has levels of Envoy.
Envoy buddies!
I knew I liked him for a reason.
It's all like charisma.
He tricked me.
And he will go ahead and take a shot at the same time. Gosh, my hands are full of things to do. I need to go back to I gotta go to the gun sound page.
you know the page with gun sounds on it.
There's gun sounds all on it. Oh my god, he rolls extremely well. Let's see here. Yeah, he's just kind of a badass. So he pulls out. What is this? It is a fighter hand coil. So I think that's it's an electric weapon. And shoots at that Azure soldier, hitting him quite handily. I haven't had to do combat in like 3 going on 4 weeks now, so this is all like I have to shake the rust out.
Right?
It's like, oh my god, I'm doing everything wrong. Here we go. Yeah, so shot bites into him, does some damage, and that will bring us to Herald.
Alright, Ninden, I assume you're going after the big dino?
Yeah, we'll see what I can do with it.
Alright. Mouse, you think you can take down the sniper?
Oh, I was gonna shoot the dino.
All right, that works for
I
me.
have this cold piercing weapon that we got from Mama.
Yeah, I get it. Let's move out of line of sight of that sniper then. So with his extra move action, right, we have 2 move actions with higher speed and a standard because of haste.
No, if you make a full attack, you can also
right.
move.
Yeah, it's old.
Otherwise,
old
you
haste,
just
old
have
haste. Got it. Okay, I don't do crap. Herald will say. I guess I'll first try to shoot the dinosaur in like a distracting way, called clever attack.
Clever attack.
Let's see if this
No!
macro works.
So clever.
That's impossible.
It did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so if its CR is less than or equal to 13, it is flat-footed against all the Sun Divers until the end of next turn. And since I have clever attack, I also get to shoot.
I like that you put a sad face on there.
only
Yeah.
only against Herald. Yes, its CR is below 13, it turns out. So, it is flat-footed against everyone. You do that, God, what do? You do like the Grant, like, flare thing?
Oh, that's a crit.
Crit! Oh!
Oh, goodness!
Hey.
Yeah, Herald!
Herald is
True
hidden
calling.
things.
Well, it had to happen eventually.
It's true.
It's 16 piercing damage.
No other
You
effect
rolled
from
in
that
that
pistol.
20.
Oh, right. Semi-auto pistol, advanced. I don't think that has a crit effect.
Somehow
assume
I
not,
feel like
but-
it does not.
Yeah.
Probably not, but
Semi-auto pistols do not.
Oh, wait, no.
Get a fusion. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, I have a fusion. Hold on. It is
Okay.
entangling.
entangling fusion.
Hey, there you are.
Because
That's awesome.
All about the debuffs. So how's that work? Does
Yeah,
it
yeah,
make a
yeah.
DC or is it automatically entangled? Sorry, I should know that. I'll look it up.
I don't
Yeah.
know actually. I know a lot of other fusions just kind of happen. Like I know knockdown just kind of happens. Like you don't get to save against that one, but other ones like
Entangling
wound,
might.
you can save against. Entangling seems
Yeah.
like one that you'd be able to save against.
Sorry, I'm looking. The fusion
Okay.
says entangling fusion gives the weapon the entangle special property.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
No.
Infinite chain. Please hold.
Uh,
Feel free to race me to it.
Gains. Oh, only a single. No, it's only a single attack each day may benefit from this property, and you must announce before making an attack.
Oh,
What?
so it's not a crit thing?
No. Nope.
Oh.
that's
That's sad.
unfortunate.
No, it would just say it gains the entanglement critical hit property.
Oh, that's what I mixed it up with. I thought entangling gave entangling crit, but instead it gives the entangling property, which is totally different.
Totally different, and only once a day.
Got it.
Oof.
Okay, utter
Right.
garbage. Let's move
Read
on
the fine
from
print,
here.
folks.
I didn't read the fine print.
Yeah, you gotta do your research before you make an expensive
It
buy.
just had a word
But
that I liked.
it does still count as magic for the purposes of bypassing VR.
Yes,
so.
yes, that was the
It's true.
sort of the most important part.
It's true. So you do damage to it. do damage.
Yeah.
Doo doo.
We're adults here. Yeah.
Speak for yourself.
Herald does an impressive distracting motion and then shoots the dinosaur. It appears to hit it right in the face.
And then he says, "Alright, shoot it while it's distracted," with a get 'em.
Oh snap!
So it's getamized.
Flat-footed and get 'em.
Getamized and flat, and that getem is +2, correct? Because you're
Yeah.
over level 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Or I guess you took
Herald.
improved getem, I think.
Herald has switched over to kill mode.
I'm kind of scared.
I had to, because Gur left us and will stay gone forever.
Yep. No, he's definitely not coming back.
And right. Ninden, it is your turn.
All right. Ninden looks at the dinosaur, looks at his.
Feels the brief kinship.
Oh, suddenly my Amazon Echo decided that it was going to tell me about dinosaurs. Never mind. I don't even know how I said her name, but anyway.
Marvelous.
So he's going to, with the knowledge that Kaylin imparted, pull the hand cannon, which was Gur's, and click on the frost fusion.
Nice.
As he's doing this, he's moving up a little bit towards the dinosaur. We'll say he stands right here. I assume he's underneath the
Yes.
archway or
Yes,
scaffolding.
correct.
Cool.
For anybody
and
who is on it, I will put a flight symbol to indicate that they are up.
sounds like a plan.
Yep.
And he will. Let's see. Oh, he can full attack with this because he doesn't have his shield out. So he's gonna do it because he's the dinosaur has some good debuffs on it. So he's gonna pull the hand cannon, move up with his hasted move action, and then he's going to full attack.
Do it.
Doing it. Full attack. Hiya. That's a 24 versus KAC for the first one. 26, and a 30 for the second one.
Indeed. Let's see here. Do those hit?
And it is
feel
flat.
like they probably.
Yeah, versus flat-footed.
Indeed. Perhaps putting Gur's own hand cannon to better use than Gur did.
Hey now.
2 shots with it. Now, this cold fusion. What does that change the damage into?
Half
It's
the damage
half-
is cold.
Okay.
Yep.
So
I
it'd be
need to
6
put that
cold
on.
on the first one,
Yes.
and then
yeah,
3
6
on the second.
6 cold on the first, 3 on the second. Let's say that. Yes.
Okay. So that will manifest in a total of 6 damage on the second attack and 14 damage on the first attack. So, yeah, 2 pretty effective shots on this thing. Let's see.
Yeah.
Gur,
Not
Gur
bad.
hears his hand cannon and just kind of.
Yeah, right. You can hear it. Does Gur's hand cannon have a name?
Bitsy.
Something you haven't thought of?
Yes, it absolutely has a name. Get back to me in 5 minutes here.
Gur thinks to himself, hand cannon's name.
Yeah, in brackets. My
brackets.
writer's note. Come back to this later and give it a name.
Placeholder.
Leaf, what do the explosive rounds do again?
Changes damage to half fire and adds the knockdown critical effect.
right, yeah,
If it has
but-
the knockdown critical effect, it adds the pushback effect.
Patrick,
So then I
Patrick
definitely didn't use that.
who is in the chat, indicates that the name of a hand cannon is now
Ah.
And so it shall be.
This is
I
made it myself. All right,
So,
well,
speaking of
that's-
so
that's
the-
that's Ninden's turn.
that is Ninden's turn. The Anasanoi, you watch as they disappear around the corner to follow their captain's orders. And they all line up and take shots at the designated target. Oh, dear lord. These guys are great.
Get
For a
ready.
peace-loving civilization, they're doing pretty well.
Sundiver who?
You
Hey now,
thought they
hey.
could mess with the pacifists. The
No,
pacifists.
no.
messed
They're
back.
they're inspired to new heights because now they have hope because we're here.
Yeah, it's
Indeed.
still us. We still take credit.
Yeah.
So,
We really have changed since book 1.
it's true. Some changing has happened. So,
This is why
I
I,
think
keep
this is the
asking you to
players,
give me new
not us.
backstories.
unbeknownst to the Sundivers and to Gur, though you get some sort of impression that things are going well, this poor bastard gets hit successfully by 3 different trick attacks.
What? They're operatives?
They're
Nice.
all operatives.
That's awesome.
So let me do so.
Oh no.
You hear gunfire happening on this out through the southern wall. So there's combat happening outside of the hangar to the Sundivers inside.
Oh, good. Okay, that's what I was going to ask about Ninden.
Yeah. Let's see, hold on. Oh my god. Okay. Remember 17 for me.
All right. Oh no, that's not what he said. He definitely didn't say 17, guys.
18. And 16. So this guy takes 17, 18, and then 16 damage from these soldiers as they open fire on him.
Wow.
Yeah, they did a good job.
That's a total of 51 damage.
He's already on death's door.
Just lit up like a Christmas tree.
Indeed. So yeah, that's what's happening outside. But what's happening inside is the sniper is lining up a shot. He sees that Mouse is using a weapon that might effectively hurt
Oh,
Venezuela. So
no!
he's going to go ahead and take aim with that thing. Let's see.
He's giggling. I'm worried.
There's a nobody hears it. The sniper hears it. His gun charges up before it shoots. His Phantom Assassin rifle. But then there's a click and a hissing sound comes out as the battery goes dead.
Oh.
Wow, this guy's a professional.
Rolled a number. He rolled a 1. That's a
That one's
critical
happened to other
failure.
people too.
There's hope.
He drops his pronking sniper rifle and pulls out his sidearm instead, and he moves to the doorway.
Oh.
Oh, well, that's not a very good sniper. All right, I'm not as worried anymore.
Well, he's still 20 feet up, shooting down at you, so he still has some kind of an advantage. But yeah, then we'll move on to these Azure soldiers outside. The first one, who just got absolutely wrecked, is gonna sit back and like wave his hand at the others, like get them. He's like, help me. He's gonna take a shot. Poor bastard. He has a disintegrator rifle, and he rolled well.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Is there? I don't think there's a disintegrator rifle in the sound set here. There sure
We agreed it
isn't.
went.
Oh, it's like a flame, right?
It's a fart noise. It's a fart noise, Seth.
It's definitely a fart noise.
Oh, okay. Let's roll that. Let's roll that damage roll. 4. Wow. Good. Not a very inconsistent, but potentially terrifying weapon. So yeah, he shoots Z4, and his friends both pull out mauls and start to charge at the Anasanoi. Let's see, I don't think they can move up.
Whoa.
So there's a hammer fight going on.
Is it hammer time?
It is
Oh, no.
it is hammer time, and I'm gonna request that you stop. Stop.
Okay.
It's hammer
All right.
time.
Yep. No, you got me. I'll stop.
All right. Mouse, it's your turn.
All right. So,
Mouse can now move, 30 feet on top of the 30 she can already run?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, she doesn't need to move that much. Actually, all she's really gonna do is get... Oh, hold on one sec. I forgot that I had switched to measuring mode.
Mhm.
Mouse is just gonna go... Oh, geez, that's right. This map is in increments of 10, so it's...
Now the squares that you're on are normal.
Right. 1,
Yeah.
2, 3, 4...
Yeah, but they're a little hard to see because it's a bright white background, and
Mhm.
like the grids
You can change
that are
the
on
color
the
of the
actual map are much easier to see. It's frustrating.
Yeah.
But it wasn't made with Roll20 in mind, so.
Yeah. I either usually turn the Roll20 lines completely transparent or make them really bright.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
dark
you can choose
black.
the color. and
I
make them
could
up.
do that. That's right. I can do
Anyhow.
that. It's my fault.
Mouse moves up ahead,
Mhm.
so that she is in range of this bad boy,
Mhm.
and specifically within range of half of her weapon, of her brand new weapon's automatic rifle firing version. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I
what
don't
she
think you
can
want to
do.
do automatic.
What? Why?
It's an AoE.
It's one attack roll against everybody in a cone.
Yeah. It's a cone.
But it expends all of your ammo.
It's true. It's true.
And like it does the same damage as just shooting.
Yeah,
Well,
it does the
never mind.
same damage. Yeah, that's the problem.
Fine.
Yeah,
Fine.
but we can say she's just opening up on it.
Yeah.
Whatever way.
It'll look cool. But
Yeah.
first she has to ask, serendipity, target acquired.
Oh,
So-
let's see.
Can you move and acquire and shoot?
Yeah, isn't that a move action?
I thought that haste.
Haste does not give you an extra move, unfortunately.
Oh.
Only if you're doing a full attack.
Got it. But you've got a substantial number of bonuses anyway, even
Yeah.
without.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
Well, let's just see.
You can
And
do a full
then if
attack.
I'm right. Well. All right. Gelid Ice Carbine.
Yes.
A go.
That's
Oh
cool.
my god.
Yeah, it's a super
Awesome.
hit.
I
Are you
rolled
only
a
doing the?
16.
Are you only doing the one attack?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So remember that you can full attack after moving when you have haste.
Oh, cool. Then I guess I will.
Okay.
Uh,
So we'll take a -4 off of that. It's still a hit.
okay.
I thought you were going to full attack.
Yeah, no, I should have. So this is another one.
That is not a
that one's not a hit.
No.
Oh well.
But yeah, Mouse pulls up and starts shooting this automatic ice gun. One of the hits absolutely does
23
connect.
damage.
No, it does not do 23 damage. So
Oh.
let's see here.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's like 12 of that is going to be cold, which means that it will do half again that much. So
Nice.
we're adding 6 more, so it does 29 damage, in fact, to the
Thanks,
this
Mama.
horrible fire Rex.
Fire Rex.
Radical, real cool Radical Rex.
What?
I don't know what that was either.
That was like a sweet guitar riff, obviously.
Oh, okay, got it.
Of course.
Hey, girl, it's time to kick the tires on this new body of yours in combat. Not virtual this time.
Yeah, and I've realized I am a little far away to do anything. So this is going to be a really exciting first turn. Moves here.
You can be a little bit closer if you want.
Yeah. Okay. We'll say he started off at the door. If that's
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
all right. In that case, move action to open the door.
You can open the door as part of your move action as long as you're moving through it. You're fine.
All right. Fantastic. Going to move up. Oh, I can move all the way up here. Oh, I can move all the way up to him. Ha! Okay, cool.
So, as you open the door and start moving in, you watch as the sniper casts his rifle down and frustratedly pulls out his sidearm and starts marching his way over to what would normally be used to board a docked spacecraft.
Mm-hmm.
He is not paying attention to you at all.
Excellent. Gur does a quick check of his of the exhaust systems on his suit and then activates the Juggernaut jets. Runs up here and attempts to bull rush this guy.
Oh dear.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Haha!
Forgot to indicate that he is in fact above. Well, not the right.
34! 34 to bull rush.
Oh my goodness. Hold
Nice.
on. Let me. Whoop. You're just trying to push him off the
Yes.
the side here. So okay, how much does that push him exactly?
So it's 5 feet plus 5 for every
5 by which
5
it
I've
exceeds
beaten
attack plus
the
8.
KAC plus 8.
Okay. That doesn't beat the KAC. I'm joking. Let's see here. That beats it by 11. So
So 10
he
feet.
gets. I think that's 15 feet, isn't it?
That, yeah, 5 feet plus 5 feet for every 5 by
Oh,
which it-
oh, yeah,
so
that's 15 feet. You're right.
You
Yeah.
jettison him out that door.
Oof. So above you, Herald, suddenly the sniper that Kaylin made you aware of comes careening out of the door. And you
Also,
can tell
falling damage.
you can tell it wasn't on purpose, but before he hits the ground, his jetpack kicks on.
No.
and he kind of
Lame.
and he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He's just spinning in place, completely out of control. I'm gonna give him off target in a big way.
Nice. And if
Yeah.
Gur can have like cool points, he's gonna move up 5 feet so they can see somebody kind of up here.
Indeed, you see that
Alright.
someone has took the sniper's place, and they definitely do not look like an Ifrit of any kind.
Yeah, leveling a black and purple cannon at this guy.
Yeah, it's a spooky gun.
Herald waves hello to the stranger.
Stranger,
hey.
we're
Oh,
still
glad you
back.
could
Oh my
join us.
god!
Hey, it's Miss
What?
Laura's turn. With big clodding footsteps, this massive thing makes its way towards Ninden, and you watch, probably in at least a small degree of terror, as its massive jaw opens up and it lowers down, turning sideways to try and snatch you up.
This isn't horror for Ninden. This is just another day at the office, because I'm pretty sure this would be the third time he got swallowed by a big bad.
That's
Yeah.
true. One time it was a snake. The other time it was a big goop, a big ooze.
It was a snake that went invisible too.
Yeah, it was
I'm
an
pretty sure the
invisible
mountain eel grabbed me as well. Come to think of it.
Yes. Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
All right, so
I
once a
think
book.
always,
This is
always
your
ready
one,
and
Seth.
then
Yeah, you just get swallowed a lot. That's just how it happens.
I just look super tasty. I'm a snack.
Out here looking like a snack. Okay, this is a bit of an absurd attack roll. So I'm just gonna have to ask. Let's see. Are you kidding me? 41?
Yeah, yep. That beats by a lot.
Let's see. How much does it have to beat by?
Sounds on par.
How much does it have to beat by the pin?
That sounds
like
like a. Oh,
It's like
it's
10,
plus.
right?
Simon, isn't it plus 13 to
It's 5
pin?
more, so yeah, 13.
Oh my gosh.
So okay, my KAC then, because that actually matters, I guess. KAC currently is, I believe, 27.
It barely
So-
beats it.
Yeah. Damn.
Oh my god. Yeah, so Mouse and Kalen get front row seats as they watch this massive dinosaur walk up and just slam its face down into Ninden. And he is
Uh-oh.
surrounded on either side by giant sharp teeth as it starts to try to swallow him.
Uh-oh.
Let's
that's
see
not
here.
good.
How I eat
Ah,
chicken nuggets.
Pronk. Not again.
You just slam your face down on the nugget.
Stands them up with like one hand.
Don't question Leaf's eating habits.
I'm gonna question it. Let's see. It's gonna be 32 fire and piercing damage as it bites into you.
Ouch. So I take 27 damage because my small amounts of DR.
Yeah, and
I said 27.
yeah,
Okay.
and on top of seeing this thing biting down onto Ninden, you can see fire, kind of bursting out of the mouth too. Cooking its meal while it tries to eat it at the same time.
Hey, that's efficient.
That's
Ninden
efficiency.
gets 2. Yes, he gets 1 entropy point.
Crow is cry laughing from the idea of slamming your face down to eat chicken nuggets. It's like, oh, nuggets!
Oh my god.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna move on to Z4. This super cool combat that's happening.
Hey, you skipped me.
Did I?
Yeah.
Definitely
Oh,
did.
I'm so sorry, Kaylin. That's right, you were first. My bad. Hey, Kaylin.
Rude. Now, since you made me roll mysticism, I'm assuming it's an outsider, and it's probably evil. I'm gonna shoot it twice.
I don't know that it's evil.
And it might be.
Is nature evil, or is man?
Oh.
Oh, well,
Some
that's no
nature's
good.
evil. We got
Yeah,
a +2 and
nature
it's
is-
flat-footed.
It is flat-footed, and I have a +2 to each of those. It's a 19 hit.
Ah,
Flat-footed.
yay, see?
Yeah.
It doesn't. Even
Ugh.
with all the modifications, it doesn't.
Well, drat.
I'm sorry.
Straticus.
But
I'm still gonna, and then I'm gonna use my
that's a sonic gun, right?
move to get back here.
It is a sonic gun, yes.
It is indeed a sonic gun.
As you move back, you witness that that sniper you spotted before is no longer in their perch, but instead spinning in midair with a jetpack that they can barely control. All right, is that the end of your turn?
Yep, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you missed.
Ugh, it happens.
I feel bad. All right. So Zufor here gonna do a trick attack of his own. Doing some uncanny shooting. Let's see. He meets his requirement, and he meets the attack. So he lets out a shot, and I'll determine all that while I move on to Herald.
Herald will look between the two enemy combatants that we see and say, let's take down that dinosaur before it eats your name, Ninden, again.
Such a good captain.
And then you hear Herald like giving you this order to take down the dinosaur before it eats you.
Yeah.
You hear over comms, I'll try my best. First I need to get out.
Well, that also benefits from my attack bonuses, if I recall.
Yes, because it's an attack roll against their...
Their AC.
Oh, well, no, you can make an attack roll, or you can make an acrobatics check.
Well, this does not change my actions. Clever
No,
feint.
yeah.
Oh no, a nat 1. I failed to
Uh-oh.
feint.
But are they
So
still flat-footed against you?
They're flat-footed against Herald.
You could spend a resolve point to make that
You could.
stick.
Oh, I could. Yeah, sure. I got resolve points up to wazoo.
And
I
you
do
never
it.
get touched anyway.
I spend it, and then
Okay.
I shoot.
So is it Getamized and flat-footed still?
Yes. Oh, you're right.
Okay.
I get him first, and then shoot him. Sorry.
Okay.
Always get him first.
Always get them first. Let's see that attack roll.
Probably
Oof.
not a hit.
Not quite.
So 16 versus flat-footed KAC.
Yes. So Herald still commanding you to focus fire, taking shots. This time, you only get a nostril shot once. It's hard to shoot in the nostril a second time.
Keep your nostril in the same place.
Stop moving your nostril so much.
That's my turn.
All right. Bring it to Ninden. Hey, you're pinned. More like Pindon. Haha.
Oh, good one.
Wah, wah, wah.
Alright, so I'm pinned. Acrobatics DC is 10 plus the grappler's KAC. This thing's probably got a pretty high KAC, but I mean, I don't
It's not
have anything
low.
else I can do.
It's not low,
Uh,
but it's not insane either.
It's also 2 lower right now because it's flat-footed.
Oh, that's true.
So, Ninden is
It
going
still
to
feels
try.
Like, hold on. Is your acrobatics check 2 higher than your
My-
attack roll?
My acrobatics check is okay. So my strength-based attack roll is 13. My acrobatics is 16. So yes.
Okay, yeah.
So
You
I
have a
will
higher
try the
chance
acro.
with that, Yeah.
Yeah, one higher. Let's try it. That's only a
Oh.
20, so I am stuck.
Indeed.
Oh, yes. Okay, good.
As you try to wrestle yourself free from the Nithalora's grasp, you can feel that part of you is actually starting to get deeper into the mouth rather than further away from it as it tries to work you into its gullet. Now it's the Anasane's turn. Here. Ooh, that's not gonna do it. That will do it. Let's... kind of moving back, trading spaces a little bit as they do trick attacks here. One of them gets hit by a hammer as he tries to move away from the Azure, but they all change their target and start shooting at the nearby blue guy. Let's see here. These. Pew, pew, pew. They all managed to hit. I will calculate the damage silently on my end as we move on. Never mind, to the sniper. I have to do this all. I don't have time to do the damage separately.
Yeah, this would be assisted a bit with macros.
I get it. Okay. I understand. Oh, they just made my job really easy.
More nat ones. I love those.
No, they made my job really easy because they murder him cold.
Oh, that's even better.
So yeah, he gets put down. The sniper now, off target, whirling around with his pistol in hand, looks back over at who did this to him, and he's gonna try to shoot at you. Turns out he too is an operative. There's a lot of operatives in this fight. So he's gonna try to trick Gur. And I think a player character's CR is their level. Is that
Yeah.
right? That's how that works.
Yes.
Okay. What is this? Oh, he makes it, unfortunately. Okay. Ooh, but the attack roll is really bad. So off target, how much does that reduce an attack by? Is it 1 or 2?
I think 2.
2. Okay. Does a 24 hit your flat-footed EAC, Gur?
Checking. Flat-footed EAC 24
Yes.
meets.
Oh no! So he's spinning around, and kind of catching you off guard. He manages to, during one of the spins, line up a shot, and he flicks out his wrist and shoots at you with a sonic gun. Let's see here. Hitting you for... What's the damage on this sucker? It's not bad. Kaylin might want this thing, unless hers is already better. I don't know. Yeah, the macros would help a lot here, wouldn't they?
They are pretty helpful. You just sort of click the button.
Yeah, but then I
then
can't
that, like-
fudge stuff, you know?
Oh, you just make them go to yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
that's
can have
true.
them whispered
That's
to you.
That's true. All right. Well, either way, that's going to be 32 damage as he shoots his sonic pistol back at you.
Whoa! Ow!
Operative damage. It hurts sometimes. It just kind of depends.
Gur's not pleased.
My shiny new armor.
You scuffed.
Okay, that Azure is going to move up and try to smack C4, missing entirely. This one moves up. and takes a shot.
Tates.
Yeah, what's up?
Herald is within 30 feet of me. I think he'd feel some familiar half-orc rage inside of his mind.
Actually, the thing about that is because of the telepathic inhibitor.
Oh, that's right.
It's only 15 feet right now.
Oh.
Yeah. That's citywide, so that's that is a
No
massive
rage
effect.
for you.
Not quite yet. But yeah, the other Azure to the south shoots C4 successfully. Dear Lord, that's so loud. Why is the flame one so loud? Everything else is much quieter. All right, we'll go to Mouse.
All right. Well,
Is Mouse within striking distance? Like, Am I within? Am I?
You suspect that
Too
you would
close?
you'd probably get a tail slap if you tried to shoot it from this
Yeah, I
distance.
think I've got to back up.
Actually, let me find out exactly. Because you can kind of judge the distance a little bit. Yeah, if you took a 5-foot step back, you think you could avoid a hit.
To here or to here?
Either or.
Okay, here. And mouse. Unfortunately, that takes my move action, doesn't it?
Yeah, but you have one if you were going to do another full attack.
Yeah, might as well. Full attack!
Because it's still get 'em.
Yeah!
Okay.
Awesome. So the first one probably doesn't hit. It's a 12.
Does not. But the second one does, and
Yay! And that's
it's
a
the
19.
less damage, unfortunately. But it still does 24.
Yeah.
You smack that T-Rex in the face.
Yeah!
Murder in her little mousy heart.
It's officially bloodied, everyone.
Ooh.
Hey, girl, you just got shot by a sonic pistol. Are you gonna stand for that?
Oh no! See, the old Gur would do something rash and hot-headed, like leap at the man and try to, rip his throat out with his teeth or something. No, this is the new
Now
Gur.
he doesn't have teeth.
New Gur has no teeth. Yeah, exactly. The new Gur has super advanced armor too, and he's actually going to go ahead and full defense,
Okay.
which is a full round action if I'm not mistaken.
I don't remember.
There's fight defensively. There's okay. Well, let's look up full defense.
Yeah, there's like several different defense-related actions you can take in combat, and I'm not clear as to which one does what.
Yeah. No, full defense is not. It's called something else apparently.
Total defense.
Total defense. Yeah, I think that's
There it is. It's a standard action. You gain a +4 bonus to your armor class until the start of your next turn.
Yes.
You can't make attacks of opportunity.
Okay.
Right.
So you're
So
doing total defense?
He is going total defense, and as he does, he kind of like puts his arms up in kind of a defensive position, and these kind of extra plates kind of shoot out from the side, giving him an additional +2 on top of that +4.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh,
Yeah.
the rampart plates.
Hit him now. Gets a crit on the next shot because it's Gur.
It's like, ha! You'll never get past these, and then like the shot goes right into his forehead.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was my third eye, you pronking!
Kind of blind. I'm a little bit more blind than I previously was. I
Anyways,
have
that's
less
Gur's
vision.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, just looking at the orientation of their eyes, maybe their binocular vision, like their depth perception goes away because their other eyes are pointed off to the sides.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah, it's weird.
I don't
I don't know what looking with 3 eyes looks like, obviously. All right, that's gonna bring us to the Nissalora, and I do believe because of the swallow hole thing, if it begins the turn with you still grappled or pinned, that means that you get swallowed. If I understand the rule.
If I recall correctly, that is how it works.
Okay.
I wouldn't know. I'm always on the receiving end of this. I don't get to see how it happens.
I never need to look up the rules. Somebody just always tells me what's happening to me. Let's see. I just want to make sure. I want to see if the
On the creature's
Laura
next
gets
turn,
the stuff.
if the target has not escaped the grapple or pin, the target automatically takes the attack's damage at the beginning of the creature's turn. Then you make a new roll with the same attack. If you if you exceed the KAC, the grapple or pin is maintained. If you exceed it by 4, the target is swallowed whole.
Okay, got it. So we'll do that attack again.
So, Simon, is that the KAC plus 13 for the pin?
Interestingly, no. It's easier to swallow than bite. Something like
Go
that.
figure.
So it rolled a 19.
No,
No, it rolled a 19 on the die.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So you
no!
you got et.
And it's swallowed.
Yeah, but I think first I have to take the damage for starting in its teeth.
Right.
Oh, is that from the original bite damage?
Yeah, from the sentence, the target automatically takes the attack's damage at the beginning of the creature's turn.
Got it. Okay. Oh, that's
So, glutton for punishment. Hit me.
you hate to see this. Let's see here. That's 36 flaming and piercing damage.
Okay. Well, Ninden's gonna spend his entropy point, I guess, to try and reduce some of that. So 36 minus 8. No, yes. Right?
And-
Yeah, okay. Minus another 5
Right.
is 23. Okay, got it.
And then
We're
roll
level
a ni-
9. Back.
roll a 19 on the die to try to swallow Ninden.
But I'm only level 8 Vanguard, Nick.
Yeah.
Alright, so it swallows Ninden.
Yeah, that's a 43 on the attack roll, so I'm pretty sure that swallow is successful.
But does
Yeah,
no
sure.
additional damage.
Well, now you can blow it up from the inside.
Yeah.
So now there's additional damage, you said?
No, there isn't.
There is no additional
So,
damage. Okay.
the target will now start taking damage on its turn,
Got it.
and will be
Okay.
grappled but not pinned.
Got it.
From the stomach.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
actually,
yeah.
do things though.
Right. So yeah, you all watch as Ninden just disappears down this giant fire Rex's mouth.
You hear over comms. I'll be
worry.
fine. Just kill it.
Hey, Kaylin, it's your turn.
Well, my gun wasn't very successful, so let's put a Wisp ally on that.
Ooh.
With carrying fire, so the next person to shoot it gets a +2.
Mm-hmm.
Wisp. That's gonna be for the rest of the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
That's 9 rounds.
It's not gonna live 9 rounds.
No, and I'll move
For the rest of its
around away from both of them.
Yep.
And that's it.
Okie doke. Alright. I'm just gonna not bother rolling what's going on down here. They have it pretty handled. So we're gonna go straight on to Herald.
All right. Herald's worried about Ninden as always. And this mysterious alien seems to have this mysterious sniper covered. I can't flank with Ninden though, so I'll just do the same thing as I did last round. It was effective before, and it will be effective again because this will enable Ninden to... Alright, Ninden, what I need you to do is just keep stabbing it from inside. And I'm gonna give you some gentle encouragement. With a get him,
and
it's another get him and a feint. Yeah.
Got it.
Where's that feint?
All right.
Where's the feint?
Oh, crap roll again.
Ah.
Man.
I rolled a natural
That's okay.
toot.
Oh, I got that toot again.
Do I want to
Bro,
spend
are you
another
finished?
resolve?
Crow, have you written that RPG system now? We really need it.
We do.
Send
we need
help.
the natural 2 system, please.
Alright, I'm gonna be spending with my resolve. YOLO. I spend another resolve to give everyone the +2.
Alright.
Nice.
So spendy. He just
So
said
spendy.
YOLO.
And then I will do this. This will use up Kaylin's +2, unfortunately. Or maybe
Okay.
not, unfortunately.
That's all right. You probably hit though.
12
Oh, yeah.
piercing.
Okay. Yeah, that's super a hit. Let's see. Where are all the guns? Bang! So yes, that's a hit. You boop the snoot with a bullet. It's probably not the most gentle boop that's ever received.
Alright, done.
Okay, is that
I've
is that
received
standard?
many boops before.
It's a move and a standard.
I started to think about it. It's like I think about this thing's mom and like what kind of life this thing has led up until this point.
Well, now I'm
Bizarre.
sad.
Too bad.
The bizarre path of the fiery Nishalora from the plane of fire. Where did this thing come from?
Oh,
Where will
it's
it
got a
go?
life and a family. Let's kill it.
Kidnapped as a baby
it's-
fire Rex.
Probably.
It's an animal. It swallowed Ninden. Ninden's
That's
going
true.
to kill it.
Speaking of Ninden, I think you take damage on this turn. Is that how this works? The swallowed part?
Yes, and if you want
Okay.
to know how much damage,
I have it.
Oh.
Yeah, it'll be in
good.
the swallowed hole entry.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it didn't roll very well. Okay. Keeping in mind that this is something close to minimum damage, that is going to be 28 bludgeoning and fire damage now.
Oh no,
Okay,
Ninden!
So 23, and Ninden gets another point of entropy. So he's back at 1. All right. So from here, Simon, do I have the option to escape from this, or
You
I'm
could,
just
but
gonna
it's
stab
super
it.
hard.
Yeah, you know what? Screw that.
The best way to
Sorry,
escape is to
wrong
cut it
that.
open from the inside, because I believe in its
basically-
swallowed hole entry, I believe
Yeah,
is
so-
where
Yeah, so there are
Seth
some
has
special rules.
the AC is different.
Yes, it
It's
is.
usually
It has
lower
the same
from the
EAC
inside.
as its exterior, and a KAC equal to that of its exterior minus 4.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I love it.
KAC is actually
Um,
easier, weirdly, and it's still flat-footed,
It
and you
is.
still have a +2.
that's perfect because I'm gonna cut it up with Gur's star knife. So inside
Oh
the
yeah, so you want to do slashing damage, otherwise it deals less damage.
ooh, I think this one does piercing damage, but I don't know that I have anything better.
Nope. Star Knife
Um,
does slashing.
Ooh.
Oh,
Nice.
no, I'm sure it doesn't. Let me look it up super quick.
Maybe you can use it for slashing, but if you throw it, it's probably piercing.
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Yeah, I mean, entry says piercing. I will definitely take slashing damage if you will allow it.
Yeah. You can slash with a knife. But
Okay,
it,
yeah,
it
that
won't slash. It
makes
won't
sense.
slash when you throw it. that will never be the case.
All right, so Ninden is going to drop the hand cannon, trusting that they'll be able to cut this thing open later. / he'll be able to find it, because action economy in Starfinder is weird with sheathing weapons. So, he drops the thing, picks up the star knife.
The hand cannon.
Yes, he drops and since he's still hasted, he's going to make a full attack from inside the beastie.
Oh,
Because
jeez.
he's got oodles of bonuses, and it's got a lower AC from the inside.
All right.
So,
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
Simon,
yeah. So you have a +2 from get him, a +2 from flat-footed, a +4
Well,
from being swallowed. Yes,
flat-
I know. Just effectively a +2 from flat-footed,
Sure.
effectively a +4 from being on the inside,
uh-huh.
and then a -4 for full attack. So
Just
So
slash
I'd
it.
be stupid to not full attack.
yeah,
Just
oh,
roll
no,
the
you're-
dice.
that's right.
So
But
I'm
nice,
just bragging
that's-
about my
First,
bonuses.
math later.
yeah, so that's a 26 on the first one, and
Yeah.
effectively a 16 on the second one versus its ridiculously lowered KAC.
Oh yeah. So you're able to get a good slash in there. And I think the way this manifests for the people outside is you watch as like there's a sliver, like a sliver of a silvery metal that pops out from this thing's neck and then makes a cut, and fire pours out of it.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
So that's definitely one hit, and you've hurt it pretty badly.
Oh, I didn't. The second one didn't hit. I guess when you roll a 5.
No, you have to roll higher than a 5 to hit, unfortunately.
Disappointing.
Even with-
I wanted to cut this thing
even
up from
even
the
with the
inside.
+8.
Herald can only help you so much, Ninden.
But I have
Yeah.
so much.
You do help so much, buddy.
Yeah, you hear some more firing going on outside. We're gonna go to the sniper. He hears his team reporting that they're going down outside. He sees what's going on in here, and he uses his jetpack to just kind of start flying away. He just kind of starts flying away. He gives up the fight.
I'll
What a coward.
fly away, oh glory. No?
I think I know that
No?
one. Did I hear that? Was that an Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes, it
At some
was.
point? That's why I've heard it before. That's not like the baptism scene, right?
No.
That's a
This
different
is
one.
yeah.
We'll talk about it later. I love all the music in that movie. I don't think there's a single song I don't like. But hey, it's Mouse's turn.
All right. Well, there's still a really pronking big dinosaur right in front of her, and she
Mhm.
still has a gun, and it
Mhm.
still has bullets.
And she can still full attack. Ooh, ooh. Hmm.
Can she utilize that move action to
Designate target.
designate target while using the as that she can do? Can she do that as part of the haste thing? Does that work that way, or do you have to utilize that move action as like a movement move action?
I don't know.
Rules, peoples?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a judgment.
Didn't
on
we
this or
just say
not.
before that she? No, wait, no, because she moved before, so she couldn't. Yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'd say, for
It makes
expediency's
sense
sake,
to
to just
me.
let it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So-
cool.
All
So
right.
it's wisp.
Serendipity.
No, it's not wisp. The harrying fire already got used by Herald, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're getting effectively a +6 to this attack, I think.
Woot. Well, let's find out. Let's see. That's a,
Oh dear lord.
and that's without the extra bonuses from Herald. So
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
22
Ah.
and a 26.
Yeah. Everyone can watch as Mouse opens up with this new gun of hers. The face of the T-Rex snaps back violently twice. Minden, this is a very interesting journey for you. As the as the head twists and the neck with it, and it just kind of stumbles, crashing into the side of the control tower to the north, and then falls over, quite dead.
Yeah.
Damn it, Mouse! You stole my kill.
Ah, you lose it. Use it or lose it, buddy.
Minden from inside of the throat is like, I had that one.
Oh, I like the idea that like she shoots off its head and suddenly Ninden can see daylight and he's like, ah, pronk. 'Cause it
I was
wasn't
this
him.
close. Picks up his hand cannon in frustration.
All right, so yeah, that leaves you all in this hangar, and as far as you can tell, there's no combatants. However, Herald may have pointed out there's an individual standing on the catwalk above you, to the northwest.
Oh, hello up there. Are you the people who called us here?
Gur stands up, retracts the rampart plates into his armor, and how far down are they?
About 20 feet.
20 feet. Okay, cool. He's gonna go ahead and superhero drop down to the level below.
Indeed.
Apparently that's really
Watch,
bad
he's gonna
for
do
you
a
in actual
superhero
life.
landing.
Reddit say
Oh!
that hero landing bad for your knees. Shouldn't do it.
No, dude.
Similarly, you can see Gur as the team that you arrived with kind of does a similar thing, all dropping down from the other catwalk. It looks like they're all fine. They might have gotten hit a couple times, but
Except for their knees.
yeah, their knees are gonna have some sort of lasting damage that they're not gonna feel until later on in life.
The
But-
armor absorbs the impact. You know what? We don't have to have this discussion now.
No, we really don't.
Hail as old as time.
it's
No, I'd love to talk about real world physics in this made up game.
yeah. Let's talk about how something might not hurt as soon as you do it, but it might hurt later. Anyway, yeah, you watch as this bizarre group of aliens, all rarely very tall, standing anywhere between 7 to 8 feet.
Oh,
drop
Mouse
down.
does not like that.
Let's see here. Let me get a couple of visual aids up here. And they all regard you cautiously, but you don't get the impression that they're hostile.
Hmm.
Oh, I was not pressing push to talk. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that impression because they were not because they shot our enemies and also aren't on fire.
They're not on fire at all times, right?
Yeah.
I'm Herald, and we're the Sun Divers. Kalen, Mouse, Ninden. Who are you?
The one that has the most battle-hardened appearance does some sort of strange salute and bows his head and says, "I am Captain Z4 of the Anasanoi resistance, and I believe that this is your friend," he says, gesturing over towards Gur.
No.
Our friend?
Gur kind of like walks up, and as he gets closer, people who are within 15 feet of him start kind of feeling a sort of familiarity. And he walks up to Ninden, without really trying, like really, he doesn't say anything. He just kind of walks up to Ninden and offers him a hand.
Ninden sort of looks warily at this creature, this person, and cautiously extends a hand, maybe feeling some of the waves of familiarity coming through the telepathic link, or telepathic airwaves.
And uses mind link for the day, the Ninden's mind link for the day on Ninden.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Gur dying, and then this guy's last couple of weeks.
Hmm.
And then you
Ninden-
hear in your head a familiar voice say, "Hello, friend."
Ninden just
so
how does
weird.
one react to that?
Yeah. Heck. Tears like flood into Ninden's eyes as he looks at Gur, and he says, Gur? What happened? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, well, about that. And he kind of just goes for a hug, but then slaps Ninden right across the face.
What?
That's not as hard as you're used to Gur slapping. Not
Yeah,
quite.
no.
Yeah.
Imposter!
That's for playing around with entropic forces that you're not familiar with. But I appreciate what you did, and I understand.
There's no need for that. I made a mistake. It cost you your life. We tried to get you back. But I see now this is what they meant when they said you went somewhere else.
Yeah, I got no answers, buddy.
So Mouse, Herald, Kalen, since you're close enough to the Anasonoi who showed up here, you can feel palpably their confusion as they witness this situation. They don't quite understand the gravity, but you're all being looked at with an intense amount of curiosity. They have never seen anything like any of you before, and
My
Well,
ear,
let's-
it's all one.
I suspect we're pretty preoccupied though.
yeah, a little bit.
So I assume that Gur also conveyed this whole thing to us. I'm not sure how much.
Yeah,
of this
can
was-
he?
Yeah, no. So
Well,
he
Ninden said something.
Yeah,
about
we
it.
could guess it from context.
Mhm.
yeah. After all this, he goes and offers to mind link everyone the story so far.
Get them caught up.
Yes.
Oh. Geraldo,
Carry on my wayward son.
Geraldo, give Gur a big hug. Such a good hug that like his arms kind of flatten out as part of it. It's like a really
Yeah, they wrap
encompassing
back around.
hug.
Yeah, the arms wrap around like 2.5 times each.
Yeah.
An all-encompassing hug.
Makes sense.
Good to have you back, Gur.
I
Scared us
glad
there.
I imagine Gur comes over to Mouse, who's
Oh, yeah,
eyeing him
yes.
suspiciously.
just
He tells
in-
He's not the
in her mind,
tallest
she-
amongst this group of aliens, but he's still very tall.
Yes. And she hears in her mind, Gur's voice, but it's in her mind. Hello, mouse.
Her eyes get even more impossibly big. And she kicks him in the shins.
Even through his heavy armor, it hurts. It hurts real bad.
Somehow it hurts.
Powered with friendship.
It's those
It's an emotional
steel
hurt.
toe.
Yeah, friendship bypasses DR. It's true.
Take 1 point non-lethal friendship damage.
Franken jerks face. And she just like hugs him around the waist, or maybe around his thigh. because
The
he's
leg,
that
yeah.
tall.
Oh, Gur
He's a
actually
leg.
Gur goes down like on his knees so he can better hug her, and he just gives her just a big old wrapper up hug.
Oh.
Just, I'm so sorry, Mouse.
You were dead,
And she's been really, holding back on this for a very long time.
It's like the balloon bursts almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Oh, poor Mouse.
Well, so while this is going on, Z4, ever the one who is aware of all the things going on around them, looks at you, Herald, since you're the one that spoke first, and says, I understand that this is probably a very emotional moment for all of you, but we can't stay here. If this place has been taken over, we have to move fast, and I would appreciate some assistance
Of course.
reclaiming the turrets, and then we can get you to a safe place so we can discuss strategy.
Of course. All right, everyone. Let's we can chat about what happened after we're somewhere safe. Let's help these people secure their homes.
Indeed.
Yes.
And Gur stands up and kind of like puts his helmet back on.
Where do you
Alright.
want us? How did the
Uh,
where are these turrets that were taken by the Malika? Malika, that's it.
And Z4 looks at Herald and says, "That sounds like something that I'll talk to you about on the next episode." Because that's what we're gonna stop for today.
We both look at the camera.
Hooray!
We have to go take the turrets now.
Catching up on his
Gangs all
cosmic cred,
together.
he's turning into Patrick.
He says, "To be continued." No.
No.
So yeah, the gang's back together, sort of, mostly back together in a way, in a sense.
Kinda.
We're back together.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Now you've got a bunch
back
weird-
together.
of weird triangle-headed friends to help you and to get help from you. I guess more is what's happening here. But yeah, welcome to Cullinal.
Yeah. Herald's really curious about how Gur will deal with the new body thing. He's not used to having anyone who's accustomed to this.
Right. And he still isn't going to know anybody who's accustomed to it. Even still.
You'll get accustomed.
You'll get there.
I just have to
Yeah.
keep killing you, and you keep coming back.
Oh, no.
No. That's very expensive for one.
Herald, no.
You keep reincarnating, keep casting reincarnation instead of resurrection.
Evil Astrozoan wants everyone to change forms.
Oh my
Now
gosh.
that's some Signal of Scream stuff.
Hey, don't let him have that one. We're gonna write that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's gonna do it for this episode. I think next week we're gonna have the interview.
Hey.
Oh
Dang.
man.
I need
Okay.
I need to be 100% on that. I believe it's with Mr. Lundeen, and I really hope I got that name correct. I am so bad at names. It occurs to me I can just look at the cover of the book he wrote, and
That would be too
double-check it.
easy.
Preposterous.
Yes,
Crazy.
Ron Lundeen. I did get it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Excellent. Was he the one that was on that stream that we couldn't watch?
No,
No,
that was
that is Jake.
Right.
Well, that's a safe bet. I thought like 3 or 4 people that worked there named
Yeah,
Jason.
Yeah, no,
the
everyone's
designated
named
writer's
Jason.
name, just guess.
Yeah,
Just guess Jason.
it's Jason or Jason or Jake. He goes by both. Last name Tundro.
Got it.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah, he was the one that gave us.
Okay. But anyway,
Yes,
Rob
anyway.
Lundeen.
next week, I'll reach out just to make sure that that's happening. But you can safely expect a non-standard episode next week. Haha. I like that. But yeah, aside from that, we got Cosmic Crit coming up tonight.
Yep. We're going to
Excuse-
have a hiatus at the end of the month.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
And CritterCon XL is coming up in November. Everybody get
So
hyped.
excited.
We got so much stuff coming up.
There's gonna be some special stuff
Uh-huh.
here on the Cosmic Crit
and I think
all over the place.
yeah, never mind. I don't want to bring it up because I don't know how sure of a thing it is. But there's
Right.
also
The details are still being hashed out, but
Yeah,
mark your
yeah.
calendars. The
beginning
first weekend of November.
Well, you trust us. We'll start shouting about it as soon as we know more.
We will.
We'll grab you by the shoulders and we'll like Truman Show style hold you up against the promotional materials and shout at you.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll do you one better. We will slam our faces into the
Oh.
table that you are standing on like so many chicken nuggets and
Yeah, I
shout
was
the
gonna
news.
say, will we
into
eat
your
chicken
head.
nuggets in
Yeah.
Gur's patented fashion?
Oh, hey,
Or wait,
Guess
no.
what?
Absolutely.
I just saw one on my desk.
Oh,
I
this
don't
one is
believe you.
before.
All right, well, we're gonna go eat these nugs, and I guess we'll see you next week. So say goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Nugs.
All right,
Nug,
and everyone watching, take care of yourselves.